My beloved child, I know there has been a quiet feeling deep within your heart that you have not been able to explain. It is as though something is shifting beneath the surface of your life. You cannot fully see it yet, and perhaps you cannot even find the right words for it, but your spirit has sensed that this season is different. You have wondered why certain doors have closed, why familiar paths have suddenly become uncertain, and why the waiting has lasted longer than you expected. I have heard every question you whispered when no one else was listening. I have seen every moment when hope and doubt wrestled inside your heart. Today I want you to listen carefully, because what I am about to tell you is not meant to frighten you. It is meant to prepare you. Something big is coming, but it may not arrive in the way you imagine. Many people spend their lives looking for dramatic signs while missing the gentle movements of my hand. I often begin my greatest works in silence, where faith grows stronger than sight. Before the dawn breaks across the horizon, the world still appears wrapped in darkness. Yet the sunrise is already on its way. In the same way, what I have been preparing for you has already begun, even if your eyes cannot yet see the evidence. Do not mistake my silence for my absence. I have never stepped away from you. Even during the nights when your prayers seemed to echo without an answer, I was closer than your next breath. I was arranging what you could not arrange, protecting you from what you could not foresee, and preparing your heart for blessings that would have overwhelmed you if they had come too soon. What felt like delay was often my loving wisdom, shaping the right moment for what I have promised. My beloved child, there are seasons when I ask you to trust me before I reveal the reason. That trust is never wasted. Every challenge you have faced, every disappointment that left you searching for answers, every tear that quietly fell when no one was watching has become part of a story that I am still writing. I have never forgotten a single page of your journey. Even the chapters you wished had never happened are being woven into something beautiful through my loving hands. Do not allow fear to convince you that the future holds only more disappointment. Fear speaks with urgency, but my truth speaks with certainty. The voices around you may tell you to expect the worst, but I am calling you to lift your eyes beyond what is visible. There's a purpose unfolding that reaches farther than your present circumstances. I am opening paths where you believed there were only walls. I am planting hope where discouragement tried to take root. I am bringing life into places that seemed forgotten. So remain close to me as we begin this journey together. Set aside every assumption, every burden, and every anxious thought that has tried to steal your peace. Open your heart to hear my voice above every other voice. By the time this message is complete, you will understand why your spirit has been stirring, why this season has felt unlike any other, and why I have been asking you to keep believing. My beloved child, this is not the end of your story. This is the beginning of something far greater than you have dared to imagine. My beloved child, while you have been watching the visible parts of your life, I have been working in places your eyes could never reach. There has never been a single day when my hands were idle. Even when everything around you seemed unchanged, heaven was not standing still. I was moving quietly, carefully, and perfectly, placing each piece where it belonged. What looked like stillness to you was filled with my activity. What appeared to be an empty season was actually a season of preparation. You have often measured progress by what you could see. You looked for immediate answers, open doors, clear opportunities, and obvious signs that things were changing. When those things did not appear, discouragement tried to whisper that I had forgotten you. But I want you to know that I never begin my greatest works on the surface. I begin them deep within places that cannot be seen. Think about a seed resting beneath the ground. Once it is planted, nothing about the surface seems different. Day after day, the soil looks exactly the same. Anyone passing by might believe that nothing is happening. Yet beneath that quiet earth, the seed is breaking open. Roots are stretching downward before the first green shoot ever reaches toward the sky. The hidden work always comes before the visible growth. That is how I often work in your life. You have been asking me to change your circumstances, but first I have been strengthening your foundation. A tree that grows too quickly without deep roots cannot survive the first powerful storm. I desire more for you than temporary success. I desire lasting fruit. I desire a life that remains strong when the winds of uncertainty begin to blow. That kind of strength cannot be rushed. It is built quietly, one faithful moment at a time. Every prayer you prayed has become part of that foundation. Every time you chose hope instead of giving up, another root reached deeper into my promises. Every act of kindness that no one noticed, every quiet decision to forgive, every moment you trusted me even while carrying unanswered questions, none of it has been forgotten. I have gathered every one of those moments. They are not small in my eyes. They are precious because they reveal a heart learning to depend on me instead of circumstances. There were opportunities you desperately wanted that never came. At the time, you believed those closed doors were evidence of rejection. But I was protecting the future I had planned for you. Not every opportunity is an assignment from me. Not every open path leads to peace. Sometimes my greatest act of love is preventing you from walking into something that would have slowly stolen your joy. You could not see the dangers hidden beyond those doors, but I saw them clearly. I did not close them to punish you. I closed them because I love you too deeply to allow you to settle for less than my best. There were also relationships that changed in ways you never expected. Some people walked away, while others became distant without explanation. Your heart wondered why those connections had to end. My beloved child, not everyone who enters your life is meant to remain forever. Some people are there for a season, teaching lessons that prepare you for what comes next. When their purpose is complete, I gently lead you forward. Although the goodbye may hurt, it creates space for the people I have chosen to walk beside you in the next chapter. Even now, while you are listening to my voice, I am arranging conversations you have not yet had, opportunities you have not yet imagined, and answers that are already moving toward you. I am aligning circumstances in ways that only I can accomplish. You do not have to force every outcome or carry the impossible weight of controlling your future. That burden was never yours to bear. Your responsibility is not to manage every detail. Your responsibility is to remain close to me and trust my guidance one step at a time. When an artist creates a masterpiece, there are moments when the canvas appears unfinished. If someone judged the painting halfway through, they might think it lacked beauty or purpose. But the artist never evaluates the work before it is complete. In the same way, do not judge your life by an unfinished chapter. You are looking at a single page while I see the entire story from beginning to end. I know how every chapter connects. I know how every delay, every victory, every lesson, and every unexpected turn will reveal my faithfulness. So lift your eyes beyond today's uncertainty. Refuse to believe that silence means abandonment or that waiting means failure. I am still writing your story with perfect wisdom and endless love. The pieces that seem scattered today are being brought together by my hands. What has been hidden will be revealed at the right time. When you finally look back, you will see that I was working behind the scenes every moment, preparing something far greater than you ever imagined. And when the day comes, you will understand that not a single season of waiting was wasted, because every step was leading you toward the beautiful purpose I had prepared for you all along. My beloved child, I know that waiting has been one of the hardest parts of your journey. There were days when you believed the answer would come tomorrow, only to find yourself waking up to another sunrise with the same questions still resting on your heart. You counted the weeks, then the months, and perhaps even the years, wondering why what you prayed for had not yet appeared. In those moments, it was easy to believe that something had gone wrong, that perhaps you had missed my will or that I had chosen someone else instead of you. But listen closely to my voice today, because I want to free your heart from that burden. The waiting was never a sign that I had forgotten you. The waiting was part of my plan from the very beginning. You live in a world that celebrates speed. Everything around you encourages instant results, immediate answers, and quick success. Yet the deepest things I create are rarely formed in a hurry. I am not interested in giving you blessings that only last for a moment. I'm preparing gifts that carry lasting purpose, and lasting purpose requires patient preparation. What seems slow to you is often the perfect pace in my wisdom. Think about the changing of the seasons. Winter never argues with spring, and spring never rushes summer. Each season arrives exactly when it should. If spring came too early, tender flowers would be destroyed by the lingering cold. If harvest came before the fruit had fully matured, it would never satisfy the hunger it was meant to meet. Creation itself reflects my timing. Everything beautiful unfolds according to the rhythm I established long before you took your first breath. In the same way, I have been preparing both the blessing and the person who will receive it. Sometimes you have focused only on what you were waiting for, while I have been gently shaping who you are becoming. There are qualities that cannot be learned through comfort alone. Patience grows while you wait. Compassion grows when you understand pain. Wisdom grows through experience. Faith grows when you continue trusting me even before you see the answer. These treasures are worth more than anything the world can offer, and they become part of you forever. There were moments when you wanted me to remove every obstacle immediately. Yet if I had done that, you would have missed the strength that was quietly forming inside you. Gold becomes pure when it passes through fire. A musician develops beautiful melodies only after countless hours of practice. An eagle learns to soar by facing the wind rather than avoiding it. In the same way, your spirit has been growing stronger through every challenge you have faced. What once would have shaken you completely no longer has the same power, because I have been building endurance within your heart. My beloved child, do not believe the lie that waiting is empty. Waiting with me is never wasted time. Even when your hands seemed still, your heart was being transformed. Every time you chose to pray instead of surrendering to despair, you were drawing closer to me. Every time you chose forgiveness over bitterness, you became more like the person I created you to be. Every quiet act of faith has been shaping a foundation that will support the blessings ahead. I have also been teaching you to find peace in my presence rather than in changing circumstances. If your joy depended only on receiving what you desired, it would disappear whenever life became difficult. But I want to give you something deeper, a peace that remains steady even when answers have not yet arrived. That peace comes from knowing that I am faithful, not because everything is perfect today, but because I am perfect every day. My character does not change with the seasons. My love for you does not grow weaker because the journey has been longer than you expected. So when impatience begins to whisper that nothing is happening, remember the quiet work beneath the surface. Remember the seed that grows before it breaks through the soil. Remember the sunrise that begins long before the first light reaches the horizon. Remember that I see every moment from eternity while you see only today. I am never late. I have never missed the right moment, and I never will. Hold my hand a little longer, my beloved child. Do not measure my faithfulness by the calendar or by the opinions of those who cannot see what I am doing. Measure it by my unchanging love. The day is coming when what you have waited for will stand before you, and you will realize that if it had come any sooner, it would not have carried the same beauty, the same strength, or the same purpose. Then you will look back with grateful eyes and understand that every moment of waiting was not an obstacle to my plan. It was the pathway that led you directly into it. My beloved child, there were moments when you believed no one truly understood the weight you were carrying. You smiled in front of others, while quietly holding together the broken pieces of your heart. You answered questions with gentle words, even though your soul was exhausted. There were nights when you lay awake long after the world had fallen asleep, staring into the darkness, wondering how much longer you could keep going. You spoke prayers so softly that even you could barely hear them. Sometimes you did not have the strength to form words at all. Yet I heard every cry that rose from your heart, even the ones that never reached your lips. Never believe that your tears have fallen onto empty ground. Every tear has been seen by me. Every trembling breath, every sigh of disappointment, every silent moment of grief has been precious in my sight. The world often notices only loud victories and visible achievements, but I pay close attention to the hidden battles that no one else knows about. I have watched you choose kindness when you were hurting. I have watched you offer love when your own heart longed to receive it. I have watched you continue walking forward even when every step felt heavier than the one before it. None of those moments escaped my attention. There were days when you questioned your own strength. You wondered whether you had reached the end of what you could endure. But every time you thought you had nothing left, I quietly became the strength you could not find within yourself. You may have believed you were walking alone, but I was carrying you through places where your own strength would never have been enough. Even when you could not feel my presence, my hand never left yours. My beloved child, pain has a way of making the future seem smaller than it truly is. When your heart is wounded, it becomes easy to believe that tomorrow will simply repeat yesterday. Disappointment whispers that nothing will ever change. Grief tries to convince you that joy belongs to someone else. But those voices do not speak my truth. I am the one who brings life where others see only endings. I am the one who plants hope in places that seem too dry for anything to grow. I specialize in restoring what appears impossible to restore. Think of a river after a long season without rain. The ground becomes cracked, and everything looks lifeless. Yet beneath the surface, the earth still remembers the water. When the rain finally comes, life begins to return. Green shoots appear where only dust could be seen. Birds return to places they once abandoned. The landscape that looked beyond saving slowly becomes beautiful again. In the same way, your heart has not forgotten hope. Even if sorrow has lingered, I have been preparing the rain that will awaken joy again. Do not be ashamed of the tears you have cried. Tears are not evidence of weak faith. They are evidence that you have loved deeply, hoped sincerely, and continued believing even while carrying burdens that felt too heavy. I have never asked you to pretend that pain does not exist. I have invited you to bring your pain to me because I alone know how to transform it without wasting any part of it. Some of the deepest compassion you now carry was born through your own suffering. Because you have known loneliness, you recognize those who feel forgotten. Because you have experienced disappointment, you understand those whose hearts are weary. Because you have walked through valleys, you can speak hope to others who are still finding their way. What once seemed like meaningless sorrow hath been shaping a heart that reflects my love more clearly than before. I also want you to understand that healing is often quieter than the wound itself. A broken branch makes a loud sound when it snaps, but the tree grows back in silence. You may not notice your own healing because it happens little by little. One day you realize that something which once brought you overwhelming pain no longer controls your heart. One day you find yourself smiling without forcing it. One day you speak about your past without being trapped by it. Those quiet moments are signs that I have been restoring you all along. My beloved child, I have never expected you to carry every burden by yourself. Lay them before me without fear. You do not have to hide your questions, your disappointments, or your moments of weakness. I already know them, and my love for you has never been reduced because of them. My compassion is greater than your deepest sorrow, and my mercy reaches farther than your greatest regret. So lift your eyes again. The tears you cried were not the final chapter of your story. They were the rain preparing the soil for a season of new life. I have seen every wound, counted every tear, and remained beside you through every lonely moment. The same hands that held you through your darkest nights are now leading you toward a dawn that will reveal my faithfulness in ways you cannot yet imagine. The sorrow that seemed endless will not have the final word. My love will, and my love has never failed you, not even for a single moment. My beloved child, there are some answers you have searched for that only became clear when you looked back instead of looking ahead. At the time, you could only see the pain of what was taken away. You could only feel the disappointment of another door closing, another opportunity slipping through your fingers, another dream that seemed to fade before it ever became reality. Your heart asked me, why did this have to happen? You wondered if I was withholding something good from you. But today, I want to show you something that fear and disappointment tried to hide. Some of the greatest acts of my love in your life came disguised as unanswered prayers and closed doors. I have always seen what lies beyond the next step. You see the beginning of a path, but I see where every road leads. You recognize what is attractive in the present, but I know what it will become over time. There were moments when you stood before a door that looked beautiful, promising, and exciting. You believed it would bring happiness, security, or fulfillment. Yet beyond that door were burdens you were never meant to carry, heartaches that would have stolen your peace, and distractions that would have slowly pulled you away from the purpose I prepared for you. Because I love you, I gently close what you desperately wanted to open. I know those moments hurt. Rejection is never easy to accept. It is difficult to celebrate a closed door when you cannot yet see the better one I am preparing. But my beloved child, my protection does not always feel comfortable. Sometimes it feels like loss before it reveals itself as mercy. You may call it disappointment today, but one day you will call it deliverance. Think about a loving parent walking with a small child near a busy road. The child may want to run ahead without understanding the danger. The parent reaches out, holds the child's hand firmly, and says no. To the child, that refusal may feel unfair. The child cannot yet understand that the restriction was not meant to limit joy but to preserve life. In the same way, there have been times when I lovingly held you back because I could see dangers that were completely hidden from your view. I know it was never a rejection of you. It was my embrace around your future. There were people you wanted to keep in your life forever. You prayed that they would stay, that they would understand you, that they would walk beside you through every season. But not every relationship was meant to continue into the future I have prepared. Some people were part of a chapter, not the entire story. Their presence taught lessons, revealed strength, or uncovered areas where healing was needed. When their purpose in your journey was complete, I allowed the season to change. Do not mistake the ending of a season for the ending of my goodness. Autumn is not the death of the tree. It is preparation for new growth. Leaves fall so that new life can emerge at the appointed time. In the same way, I have removed certain things from your life, not because I wanted to leave you empty, but because I was making room for what truly belongs. You cannot fully receive what I have prepared if your hands remain tightly holding what I have asked you to release. My beloved child, I have also been pruning your heart. A gardener carefully trims healthy branches, not because the tree has failed, but because greater fruit is coming. If the tree could speak, it might question why something good was being cut away. It might see only the pain of the pruning. Yet the gardener sees a future harvest that the tree cannot imagine. I am that loving gardener. I never remove without purpose. I never allow loss without planning restoration. Every branch I have trimmed hath been done with perfect wisdom and perfect love. You have sometimes confused comfort with calling. There were places where you felt safe simply because they were familiar. But familiarity is not always where your purpose lies. If I had allowed you to remain where everything was predictable, you would never have discovered the strength, courage, and faith that have been growing within you. Sometimes I disturb your comfort because I am leading you into greater freedom. Sometimes I close the familiar door so you will have the courage to walk through the new one I have opened. Do not grieve forever over what I have already released from your life. Trust that if I removed it, I also made provision for something better according to my perfect plan. I do not take away to leave you lacking. I prepare, I protect, and I provide. Even what appeared to be a painful ending has been working quietly for your good. So today, release every lingering question about the doors that never opened. Release every burden of wondering what might have been. Let go of the belief that you somehow missed the best I had for you. My best has never been behind you. It is still ahead of you. I have been removing what could harm you so that you will be free to receive what will strengthen you, bless you, and draw you closer to my heart. Trust my wisdom even when you cannot trace every reason. The same hand that closed certain doors is the hand that is now preparing to open others that no one will be able to shut, and when you step through them, you will understand that my protection was one of the greatest gifts I ever gave you. My beloved child, I know there were moments when the storm around you felt so fierce that you wondered if it would leave anything standing. The winds of uncertainty blew against your plans. The rain of disappointment fell harder than you thought you could endure. There were days when it seemed that every step forward was met with another obstacle, another unexpected struggle, another reason to question whether peace would ever return. You looked at the clouds and feared they would never clear. But I want you to hear my voice above the sound of every storm that has ever shaken your heart. That storm was never sent to destroy you. It became the place where I strengthened you in ways comfort never could. When a tree grows in a sheltered place where no wind ever reaches it, its roots often remain shallow because there is no reason for them to reach deeper. But when strong winds come, the same tree must stretch its roots farther into the earth to remain standing. The very force that appears to threaten it actually helps prepare it for a longer and stronger life. My beloved child, the storms you have faced have been deepening your roots in me. What once would have caused you to fall now teaches you how to stand with greater confidence, because your foundation has grown stronger. I know there were nights when you asked me to stop the storm immediately. You prayed for quick relief, for instant answers, for the clouds to disappear before another wave of hardship arrived. There is nothing wrong with bringing those prayers to me. I delight in hearing your heart. Yet there were times when my greater gift was not removing the storm but remaining with you through it. My presence became the shelter your circumstances could not provide. My peace became the anchor your emotions could not find on their own. Do not believe the lie that every difficult season means I am displeased with you. Some of the greatest transformations happen in the middle of life's fiercest battles. Diamonds are formed under pressure. Strong steel is refined through intense heat. Rivers carve magnificent valleys not in a single moment but through patient persistence. In the same way, your spirit has been shaped by every challenge you have endured. The pressure did not have permission to define you. It only revealed the strength I was building within you. There were moments when you thought you had reached your limit. You whispered, "I cannot do this anymore." Yet somehow, you found the courage to take one more step, then another, and another. You may have believed that courage came from your own determination, but it was my spirit gently lifting you each time your strength began to fade. I was breathing hope into your weary soul even when you could not recognize it. I was giving you enough grace for that day, then enough grace for the next. I never asked you to carry tomorrow's burdens today. I simply invited you to trust me for the next step. My beloved child, storms have a way of revealing what truly matters. During peaceful seasons, it is easy to become distracted by things that have little eternal value. But when the winds begin to blow, you discover where your true foundation rests. You begin to treasure love more than possessions, peace more than recognition, and my presence more than temporary success. The storm has been clearing away distractions that quietly occupied your heart. It has been teaching you that the greatest security is not found in changing circumstances, but in my unchanging love. Remember the sailor who crosses a vast sea. Calm waters are pleasant, but skill is developed when the waves rise. The experienced sailor learns not to panic at every gust of wind. Instead, they adjust the sails, trust the compass, and keep moving toward the destination. In the same way, I have been teaching you not to let fear control your decisions. I have been training your heart to look toward my promises instead of focusing only on the size of the waves before you. Even now, you may still see clouds on the horizon. Perhaps some questions remain unanswered. Perhaps certain battles have not fully ended. Do not let that discourage you. A storm does not last forever. The darkest clouds eventually give way to clear skies. The same rain that seemed so overwhelming nourishes the ground for future growth. What felt like an interruption has been preparing a harvest you cannot yet see. So stand firm, my beloved child. Do not measure your future by yesterday's struggle. Measure it by my faithfulness. The storm did not erase my promises. It refined your trust in them. It taught you to hear my voice more clearly than the noise around you. It revealed that you are stronger than you once believed because my strength has been made perfect in your weakness. One day, you will look back on this season with different eyes. You will no longer remember only the wind or the rain. You will remember how I carried you when you thought you would fall. You will remember how my peace guarded your heart when circumstances offered none. You will see that every storm became another reminder that I am your refuge, your strength, and your constant shelter. What tried to shake you has instead established you more firmly in my love. And now, because your roots run deeper than before, you are being prepared to receive the greater blessings that are drawing near, blessings that will stand strong because they are built upon the unshakable foundation we have formed together. My beloved child, while you have been praying for me to change your circumstances, I have also been doing something even more precious. I have been changing your heart. This transformation has not always been obvious to you because the greatest miracles often happen quietly, beneath the surface where only I can see them. You may still recognize your own face in the mirror. You may still live in the same place, and you may still face some of the same challenges, yet you are not the same person you were when this journey began. My hands have been shaping you every single day, even in moments when you believed nothing was changing at all. There was a time when certain words would have discouraged you for weeks. There was a time when one disappointment could steal your peace and cause you to question everything. But look at how far you have come. You have faced trials that once would have overwhelmed you, and although they still brought pain, they did not break your spirit. You continued to seek me. You continued to rise after every fall. You continued to believe, even if your faith sometimes felt as small as a whisper. That quiet perseverance is evidence of my work within you. My beloved child, I have been replacing fear with trust little by little. I have been teaching you that my promises are stronger than your doubts. Every challenge became another opportunity for you to discover that my faithfulness does not depend on your feelings. Some mornings you woke up filled with confidence. Other mornings you felt uncertain about the road ahead. Yet through every changing emotion, my love remained steady. By walking with me through those changing seasons, your heart has begun to reflect that same steadiness. I have also been softening places that life tried to harden. Pain has a way of building walls around the heart. After enough disappointments, it becomes tempting to stop hoping, to stop trusting, or to stop loving because it seems safer not to feel anything at all. But I did not create your heart to live behind walls of fear. I created it to love, to forgive, to hope, and to reflect my compassion. So gently, and sometimes through unexpected circumstances, I have been removing the stones that surrounded your heart and replacing them with a deeper capacity to love. You may wonder why I allowed certain experiences that stretched your patience or exposed your weaknesses. My beloved child, I do not expose weakness to shame you. I reveal it so I can strengthen it. A skilled craftsman carefully examines every part of what he is building. If he discovers a crack in the foundation, he does not ignore it. He repairs it before the structure grows larger. In the same way, I have been healing hidden wounds, correcting false beliefs, and restoring broken places within you because I know where I am leading you. I refuse to build your future on an unstable foundation when I can first make it strong. Think of clay resting in the hands of a master potter. The clay cannot always understand why it is being pressed, shaped, or turned. If it could speak, it might mistake the potter's hands for hardship instead of love. Yet every movement has purpose. Every gentle pressure is creating something beautiful that could never exist without the shaping. My beloved child, you have been in my hands all along. The moments that confused you were never random. They were part of the careful work of forming you into the person I created you to become. I have also been teaching you humility, not the kind that makes you think less of yourself, but the kind that helps you depend more on me than on your own understanding. You have discovered that you do not need to have every answer before taking the next step. You have learned that peace comes from trusting the one who sees the entire journey rather than trying to control every detail yourself. That is not weakness. That is wisdom. That is the freedom that comes from placing your life into hands that will never fail you. Notice how your prayers have begun to change. Perhaps there was a time when they were focused almost entirely on changing your situation. And now, more often than before, you find yourself asking me for wisdom, for strength, for patience, for peace, and for the ability to honor me regardless of the outcome. That change is not accidental. It is evidence that your relationship with me has been growing deeper. You're beginning to desire my presence even more than my gifts, and there is no greater treasure than that. My beloved child, do not underestimate the quiet work I have been doing within you. The world often celebrates outward success while overlooking inward transformation. But I tell you this, the changed heart is the beginning of a changed life. The compassion you now carry, the patience you have learned, the forgiveness you have chosen, and the hope you continue to hold are treasures that no circumstance can take away. These are gifts that will bless not only your own life, but also the lives of countless people you will one day encourage simply by reflecting my love. So do not become discouraged if everything around you has not yet fully changed. The greatest victory has already begun inside you. What I have planted in your heart will soon become visible in your words, your choices, your relationships, and your future. The transformation you cannot always see is preparing you for the blessings that are drawing near. As your heart continues to become more like mine, you will discover that the greatest miracle was never only about changing your circumstances. It was about becoming the person who could receive every blessing with wisdom, humility, gratitude, and unwavering trust in me. My beloved child, there is a reason I have been asking you to keep your heart open even when the road ahead has seemed uncertain. The season you have been walking through is not meant to be your permanent home. It has been a place of preparation, not a place of imprisonment. I have not brought you this far to leave you standing before closed doors forever. Even now, while you are listening to my voice, I am opening new doors that no fear, no failure, and no human power will be able to close. The opportunities I have prepared for you are not accidents. They are part of the loving plan I began long before you ever realized you needed them. You have spent so much time looking at the doors that remain shut that it has been difficult to notice the new paths quietly appearing before you. Sometimes you have stood in front of yesterday's disappointments, hoping they would suddenly change, while I was gently pointing you toward tomorrow's possibilities. My beloved child, do not become so attached to what has ended that you fail to recognize what is beginning. I am always creating new opportunities for those who continue to trust me. Think of the dawn after a long night. The darkness does not disappear all at once. Little by little, light begins to spread across the horizon. At first, the change is almost impossible to notice. Then suddenly, what was hidden becomes visible. The landscape that seemed lost in darkness is revealed in a completely different light. In the same way, I have been bringing light into areas of your life that once seemed uncertain. The changes may appear small at first, but they are the beginning of something much greater than you can presently imagine. Some of the doors I am opening will not look exactly like the ones you expected. You prayed for one opportunity, but I may answer with another that is even better. You imagined one direction, while I have prepared another that will bring greater peace and deeper purpose. Do not reject my answer simply because it arrives in a different package than the one you envisioned. My wisdom reaches beyond your understanding, and my plans are always guided by my love for you. There will be moments when these new opportunities require courage. A new door often leads into unfamiliar places. A familiar feels comfortable because you already know what to expect. But growth rarely happens where everything remains the same. I am calling you beyond the boundaries of fear and into the freedom of trusting me. Do not allow uncertainty to convince you to remain where I have already finished my work. The comfort of yesterday must never become the prison that keeps you from tomorrow. My beloved child, I know that past disappointments have made you cautious. You have experienced moments when you stepped forward with hope only to encounter pain. Because of those memories, part of your heart may hesitate to believe that good things are truly coming. But I want you to remember this. Your past experiences do not have the authority to define your future. I do. I am not limited by what has happened before. I am the God who creates new beginnings where others see only endings. Imagine a traveler standing at the edge of a vast valley. Behind them lies a narrow path filled with rocks, steep climbs, and difficult turns. Ahead stands a strong bridge leading toward a beautiful landscape they have never seen before. If the traveler spends all their time looking backward at the difficult road, they may never have the courage to cross the bridge waiting in front of them. My beloved child, stop allowing yesterday's hardships to keep your eyes fixed on what has already passed. Lift your gaze. The bridge is ready. The path forward has already been prepared. As I open these new doors, I also ask you to release the need to understand every detail before taking the first step. Faith is not knowing every answer in advance. Faith is trusting the one who already knows them. You do not have to see the entire road before you begin walking. I will provide the light you need for each step. As you move forward in obedience, I will reveal more of my plan at exactly the right time. There are people I am bringing into your life who will encourage your faith rather than weaken it. There are conversations already being arranged that will bring clarity where confusion once lived. There are opportunities approaching that will remind you that I have never stopped working on your behalf. Even the gifts that seem delayed are moving according to my perfect timing. Nothing that belongs to my plan for your life will arrive too late. So prepare your heart with expectation instead of fear. Wake each day believing that my goodness is still unfolding around you. Refuse to let discouragement close the door that I have already opened in your spirit. Walk forward with confidence, knowing that I go before you, beside you, and behind you. The same hand that carried you through seasons of waiting is now guiding you into seasons of opportunity. Something new is beginning, my beloved child. The doors are opening, the path is becoming clear, and the future I have prepared is closer than you realize. Step forward with courage, because I have already gone ahead to make the way ready for you. My beloved child, as you stand at the edge of this new season, I want to speak to the place in your heart where fear has tried to make its home. I know the questions that have quietly circled your mind. What if this opportunity slips away? What if I fail again? What if I trust and end up disappointed? What if I am not strong enough for what lies ahead? These thoughts may seem powerful, but they do not come from me. Fear has always tried to speak the loudest just before a breakthrough. It hopes that if it can keep you frozen, you will never step into the future I have prepared for you. Remember this, my beloved child. Fear is a voice, but it is not my voice. It makes promises it cannot keep. It tells you that safety is found in standing still, when in truth, standing still in disobedience only keeps you from the blessings waiting beyond your next step of faith. Fear looks at obstacles and declares that they are permanent. I look at those same obstacles and see opportunities for my power to be revealed. Fear measures your future by your past failures. I measure your future by my unchanging faithfulness. There have been times when fear disguised itself as wisdom. It told you to be careful, to expect less, to stop dreaming, and to protect your heart from disappointment by never hoping too much again. Little by little, it tried to convince you that a smaller life was a safer life. But I did not create you to live inside the prison of endless caution. I created you to walk with confidence, not because you know everything that will happen, but because you know the one who walks beside you. Think of a young bird preparing to leave the nest for the first time. The edge of the nest feels secure because it is familiar. Beyond it is open sky, filled with uncertainty. If the bird listens only to fear, it will remain where it is until the nest itself can no longer support it. But when it finally trusts the wings I have given it, it discovers that what once seemed impossible was exactly what it was created to do. In the same way, I have placed gifts, wisdom, and strength within you that you will only fully discover when you choose to move forward instead of remaining where fear tells you to stay. My beloved child, courage does not mean that you never feel afraid. Courage means choosing to trust me even when fear whispers its loudest lies. There were many moments in your life when you already demonstrated this kind of courage without realizing it. Every time you got up after disappointment, you were courageous. Every time you forgave someone who hurt you, you were courageous. Every time you prayed through tears instead of giving up completely, you were courageous. The courage you need for tomorrow is already growing from the faithfulness you practiced yesterday. Do not let your past become a chain that keeps you from embracing your future. Yes, there were mistakes. Yes, there were moments when things did not unfold the way you hoped. But those experiences do not define the person you are becoming. I have been teaching you through every victory and every setback. Nothing hath been wasted. Even your failures have become classrooms where wisdom has quietly taken root. I have never expected perfection from you. I have only asked you to keep walking with me. There will always be voices around you that question what I have placed in your heart. Some people speak from their own fears rather than from my truth. They may not understand why you continue believing, why you keep hoping, or why you refuse to surrender to despair. Do not become discouraged by those voices. Not everyone can see what I have revealed to you. Just because others cannot imagine your future does not mean I have not already prepared it. Imagine a sailor crossing the sea before sunrise. The horizon is dark, and the destination is hidden from view. Yet the sailor continues because the compass provides direction even when the eyes cannot see the shoreline. My beloved child, my word is your compass. My promises are your direction. You do not need to see every detail of the journey in order to trust that I know exactly where I am leading you. Keep your eyes fixed on me, and I will guide you safely through every unfamiliar place. Whenever fear begins to rise again, do not fight it with your own strength alone. Bring it into my presence. Speak honestly with me. Tell me where your heart feels weak, and allow my peace to fill the places where anxiety once lived. I have never been disappointed by your honesty. I would rather you bring your fears to me than carry them in silence. When you place them into my hands, they lose the power to rule over your life. So today, I invite you to make a choice. Do not let fear steal the moment that I have been preparing for you. Do not allow yesterday's disappointments to silence tomorrow's possibilities. Lift your head. Straighten your shoulders. Breathe deeply in my peace. The future before you is not governed by fear but by my faithful love. I am walking ahead of you, clearing the path, strengthening your heart, and reminding you that you were never meant to shrink back from the life I have called you to live. Step forward with confidence, my beloved child. The one who calls you is also the one who will sustain you, and what I have prepared for you is far greater than anything fear has ever tried to take away. My beloved child, now is the time to prepare your heart for what is coming. Preparation is not about trying to predict every detail of the future. Preparation is about drawing closer to me so that when the moment arrives, you will recognize my voice above every other voice. The greatest blessings are not received by those who are merely watching for signs. They are received by those whose hearts have been made ready through faith, trust, and quiet obedience. Many people spend their lives asking me to change their circumstances while neglecting the condition of their own hearts. But I desire something far deeper than temporary comfort. I desire a relationship with you that remains unshaken whether you stand on the mountain or walk through the valley. When your heart is anchored in my presence, no unexpected change can steal your peace. The winds may blow, the seasons may change, but your confidence will remain because it rests in me rather than in what surrounds you. My beloved child, expectation is a powerful expression of faith. A farmer prepares a field before the harvest appears. The lamps are filled with oil before night falls. A traveler gathers what is needed before beginning the journey. In the same way, I am asking you to prepare spiritually before you see the full evidence of what I have promised. Do not wait until the blessing arrives to deepen your trust in me. Let your faith grow now. Let your heart become fertile ground where hope can flourish. Spend time with me even when nothing extraordinary seems to be happening. Some of the most beautiful moments we share will never be seen by anyone else. They will happen in the quiet places where your soul learns to rest in my love. There I will strengthen your spirit, calm your anxious thoughts, and remind you of promises that the noise of the world tries to make you forget. The more you remain close to me, the more clearly you will recognize my direction when new opportunities begin to unfold. Release the habit of measuring my faithfulness by visible results alone. There are miracles already in motion that have not yet reached your eyes. There are answers already traveling toward you that have not yet reached your hands. There are doors I have already unlocked that you have not yet arrived at. Do not allow impatience to convince you that nothing is happening. My timing is moving with perfect precision, and every detail is unfolding exactly as I have planned. My beloved child, guard your thoughts carefully in this season. Do not allow fear to fill the space where faith should grow. Do not allow comparison to distract you from the unique path I have prepared for you. You were never called to walk someone else's journey. I have written a story for your life that reflects my wisdom, my love, and my purpose. Trust that what I have prepared for another does not diminish what I have prepared for you. Fill your heart with gratitude before the answer arrives. Gratitude opens your eyes to my goodness even while you are still waiting. It reminds you that I have already carried you through countless challenges and that I will remain faithful in every chapter still ahead. Every sunrise, every breath, every quiet reminder of my presence is evidence that I have never abandoned you. Let thanksgiving become the song that strengthens your faith. As you prepare for this new season, choose forgiveness over resentment, hope over despair, and peace over worry. Release every burden that does not belong in your hands. Place your future into mine without fear. I know the road ahead completely, and I promise that my grace will always arrive before your need does. You do not have to prepare by becoming stronger on your own. Simply remain close to me, and I will provide everything required for the journey. My beloved child, something beautiful is drawing near. Do not rush ahead, but do not hold back either. Walk beside me with quiet confidence. Keep your lamp filled with faith, your heart open with expectation, and your eyes fixed on my love. The season you have prayed for is approaching, and I am preparing you just as carefully as I am preparing the blessing itself. Before we continue, hear my heart. Every word you have received is meant to become a river that reaches countless other hearts searching for hope. As I declare in my living word, give, and it will be given to you. I am inviting willing hearts to become part of this harvest of light. If your spirit has been strengthened through this message, let your next step become an act of worship. Through your YouTube super thanks, your membership, or your PayPal gift using the donation link in the video description or the QR code shown in this video, you help carry my message to souls who are praying for an answer they have not yet heard. The seed you sow today becomes bread for the hungry heart and light for someone walking through darkness. Do not see this as merely supporting a channel. See it as joining my work of reaching those I deeply love. I bless every cheerful giver with renewed peace, fresh strength, and unexpected provision according to my perfect will. Let your generosity become a testimony that my river never runs dry. Do not delay the obedience I have placed upon your heart. Sow your seed with faith, and watch me multiply its impact for my glory and for the healing of many lives. My beloved child, I know there are places in your heart that still ache when you remember what was lost. There are dreams that seem to disappear before they could fully bloom. There are relationships that ended with questions that were never answered. There are opportunities you believed would change your life, only to watch them fade into memory. There were moments when you looked around and wondered if what had been taken from you could ever be restored. Today I want you to hear my voice with complete confidence. I am the God of restoration. What I restore is not merely a copy of what was lost. I restore with greater wisdom, deeper purpose, and a beauty that only my hands can create. Many people think restoration means returning everything exactly as it was before. but my restoration reaches far beyond that. I do not simply rewind time. I redeem it. I take what was broken and create something stronger. I take what was empty and fill it with new life. I take what seemed like the end and transform it into the beginning of a testimony that will encourage others for years to come. That is the way I work, my beloved child. I do not waste pain. I transform it. Think of a forest after a wildfire. At first, everything appears destroyed. The trees stand blackened, the ground looks barren, and it seems impossible that life could ever return. But beneath the surface, the soil is already preparing for new growth. In time, fresh shoots begin to rise. New trees grow. Flowers bloom where ashes once covered the earth. The very place that looked lifeless becomes a picture of renewal. In the same way, there have been seasons in your life that felt consumed by loss. Yet beneath the surface, I have been preparing new life that is stronger than what came before. My beloved child, I have not forgotten the prayers you prayed for restoration. I remember every request you placed into my hands. I remember the tears you shed over things you thought you would never recover. I remember the nights when you asked me if joy would ever return. I have carried every one of those prayers close to my heart. Even when my answer seemed delayed, my love never paused. I was preparing a restoration that matched my wisdom rather than your timeline. There are some things I will restore exactly because they belong in your future. There are other things I will replace because what I have prepared is greater than what you lost. Do not limit my goodness by insisting that the future must look exactly like the past. Sometimes you have asked me to rebuild an old house while I have been preparing to give you a new one. Sometimes you have prayed for one opportunity while I have been leading you towards something far more meaningful. Trust that I know the difference between what should be restored and what should remain behind. I also want to restore the parts of you that no one else can see. Before I restore circumstances, I often restore hearts. I restore hope where disappointment once lived. I restore peace where anxiety tried to settle. I restore confidence where failure planted doubt. I restore trust where betrayal left wounds. These restorations are precious because they cannot be taken away by changing circumstances. A healed heart becomes a strong foundation for every blessing that follows. My beloved child, do not believe the lie that it is too late for your life to flourish. Time has never limited my power. The years you think were wasted have not escaped my notice. I have been present in every season, collecting every lesson, every act of faith, every quiet prayer, and every moment you chose not to give up. Nothing has been lost in my hands. Even the years that seemed unproductive have been preparing wisdom that will bless you in the days ahead. There will come a moment when you look back and realize that what once felt like unbearable loss became the doorway to unexpected blessing. You will see connections that you cannot yet understand today. You will recognize how my protection guided your steps even when your heart was confused. You will discover that some endings were necessary so that greater beginnings could unfold. Your gratitude will become deeper because you will know that every restored blessing carries the fingerprints of my faithfulness. Do not become discouraged if restoration arrives little by little. A sunrise does not flood the sky with light in a single instant. It grows brighter moment by moment until darkness quietly disappears. In the same way, I often restore your life step by step. One healed memory leads to another. One answered prayer opens the door to the next. One act of my goodness strengthens your faith for everything still to come. Celebrate every small sign of my faithfulness, because each one points toward an even greater work unfolding. So lift your heart, my beloved child. Refuse to let yesterday's losses define tomorrow's expectations. The story I am writing over your life is not a story of permanent defeat. It is a story of redemption, renewal, and hope. I am restoring more than you realize. I am rebuilding what truly matters. I am breathing life into dreams that still align with my purpose, and I am replacing lesser things with greater ones where necessary. Trust me with every broken piece that remains. Place it gently into my hands, and watch what only I can do. The season of loss is giving way to the season of restoration, and when my work is complete, you will know without any doubt that every good thing came from my loving heart, and that my faithfulness has been with you every step of the way. My beloved child, I know there are memories that still try to speak louder than my promises. There are moments from your past that return unexpectedly, reminding you of mistakes you wish you could undo, opportunities you believe you wasted, and seasons that left scars upon your heart. Sometimes those memories whisper that you will always be defined by what happened yesterday. They try to convince you that your future has already been decided by your failures. But I want you to hear my voice clearly today. Your past is a chapter in your story. It is not the title of your life. I have never looked at you through the eyes of condemnation. From the very beginning, I have seen not only where you have been but also who I created you to become. Long before you stumbled, I knew every weakness you would face. Long before you asked for mercy, my love had already made room for it. Nothing about your past surprised me, and nothing about it has the power to cancel the purpose I have placed within you. My plans have never depended upon your perfection. They have always rested upon my faithfulness. There were times when you carried guilt long after I had already offered you forgiveness. You continued punishing yourself for things I had already invited you to release. My beloved child, do not keep returning to prisons whose doors I have already opened. When I forgive, I do not hold your failures over your head as a reminder of your unworthiness. I teach you through them, strengthen you because of them, and then I invite you to walk forward with freedom. Do not keep living as though chains still bind you when I have already placed the key in your hands. Think about a traveler who carries a heavy backpack filled with stones from every difficult place they have visited. At first, they believe those stones remind them where they have been. But as the journey continues, the weight becomes almost unbearable. Each step grows harder. The traveler becomes exhausted, not because the road ahead is impossible, but because they refuse to lay down what no longer belongs to them. My beloved child, many of the burdens you still carry are not part of the future I have prepared. Lay them down. You do not need to bring yesterday's weight into tomorrow's promise. I have also seen the regrets that quietly visit your thoughts. You wonder what might have happened if you had made different decisions, spoken different words, or recognized certain opportunities sooner. You imagine alternate paths and question whether you somehow missed the best I had for you. But I am not limited by human mistakes. I am able to redeem what seems beyond repair. Even the detours of your life have become roads where my grace has been revealed. My wisdom is greater than your regrets, and my ability to restore reaches beyond what you can presently understand. Do not allow shame to disguise itself as humility. True humility draws you closer to me because it trusts my mercy. Shame pushes you away because it tells you that you are beyond hope. That voice does not come from me. I call you by your name, not by your failures. I speak to your identity, not to your worst moments. When I look at you, I do not see only the places where you fell. I see the courage with which you stood up again. I see the faith that continued growing even through uncertainty. I see the person my love had been patiently shaping through every season. My beloved child, remember how a sculptor works with stone. At first glance, the block appears ordinary and unremarkable. Yet the sculptor already sees the masterpiece hidden within. With every careful strike of the chisel, unnecessary pieces fall away until the beauty that was always inside begins to emerge. In the same way, I have been removing fear, pride, bitterness, and despair from your heart. Some moments of shaping have been uncomfortable, but they have never been without purpose. I am revealing the person I always intended you to become. The enemy of your peace wants you to spend your life looking backward because he knows that a heart trapped in regret struggles to embrace hope. But I am calling you to lift your eyes. There is far more waiting for you ahead than there is behind you. The lessons of yesterday are valuable, but they are not meant to become chains around your future. Learn from them, thank me for my sustaining grace through them, and then continue walking forward with confidence. You are not the same person who once made those mistakes. You are not the same person who first entered the valleys you have now crossed. Every prayer, every trial, every act of surrender has changed you. You have grown in wisdom, compassion, patience, and trust. The person standing here today carries a deeper understanding of my love than the person who began this journey. A transformation matters. It means you are prepared to receive blessings with a heart that values them more deeply than before. So release the past into my hands once and for all, my beloved child. Stop allowing old memories to write new chapters of your life. Let my truth become louder than your regrets. Let my mercy become stronger than your shame. Let my promises become greater than your fears. I am leading you into a future that is not built upon yesterday's failures but upon my everlasting love. Walk forward without looking over your shoulder. The road ahead is filled with purpose, hope, and new beginnings. I have already gone before you, preparing each step with wisdom and grace. Trust me completely, because the future I have written for you will always be greater than the past you are learning to leave behind. My beloved child, there have been moments when you wondered if your prayers were disappearing into silence. You spoke my name with hope, yet the answer did not arrive as quickly as you expected. You folded your hands, bowed your head, and poured out your heart, only to find yourself waiting once again. Some prayers were whispered through tears. Others were spoken with confidence. Still others came from a place so deep within your soul that no words could fully express what you were feeling. I heard every one of them. Not a single prayer has ever been lost. Not one sincere cry of your heart has escaped my attention. I do not listen only to the words that leave your lips. I listen to the faith that lives within your heart. I understand the prayers you struggled to speak because sorrow had taken away your words. I understand the silent moments when all you could do was sit quietly in my presence. I know the hopes you have never shared with another person. I know the dreams you have been afraid to say aloud because you feared they might never come true. My beloved child, I know you completely, and because I know you completely, I know exactly how to answer you with perfect wisdom and perfect love. Sometimes you have mistaken my silence for refusal. You assumed that because the answer had not yet appeared, I must have turned away from your request. But my silence has often been filled with preparation. When you were praying for the door to open, I was arranging what waited on the other side. While you were asking me to move the mountain, I was strengthening your heart for the journey beyond it. While you were asking for immediate relief, I was preparing a lasting blessing instead of a temporary solution. Think about a child planting a seed in the ground. Every morning the child runs outside, expecting to see a fully grown tree. Day after day, the soil looks unchanged. The child might wonder if the seed has failed. Yet beneath the surface, life is already unfolding. Roots are growing. Strength is developing. The unseen work is just as important as the visible growth. My beloved child, many of your prayers are like those seeds. They have not been ignored. They are growing according to my perfect timing. There are prayers I answered with a joyful yes because they align perfectly with what I had already prepared for you. There are prayers I answered with a loving no because they would have led you away from my best. There are also prayers I answered with wait, not because I wanted to keep blessings from you, but because I wanted to give them to you at the moment when they would accomplish the greatest good. My answers have always been guided by love, even when they were difficult for you to understand. I remember the prayers you prayed for healing. I remember the prayers you offered for your family, your future, your purpose, and your peace. I remember the requests you repeated so many times that you wondered if I had grown tired of hearing them. My beloved child, I never grow weary of listening to your voice. Every conversation we share draws you closer to me. Prayer is not merely about receiving answers. It is about deepening the relationship between your heart and mine. The greatest gift of prayer is not only what you receive. It is the closeness we build together. Do not stop praying simply because you have not yet seen every answer. Continue bringing your heart before me with honesty and faith. Continue thanking me even before you understand everything I am doing. Continue believing that my timing is wiser than your own. Faith is not strengthened by receiving every answer immediately. Faith grows when you continue trusting my heart even while you are still waiting. There have been answers that arrived in forms you did not recognize at first. You prayed for strength, and I gave you opportunities to grow stronger. You prayed for wisdom, and I allowed experiences that taught you valuable lessons. You prayed for peace, and I invited you into deeper trust rather than removing every challenge. Looking back, you can now see that I was answering you all along, even when my answers looked different from your expectations. My beloved child, I delight in blessing you, but my greatest desire is that every blessing draws you closer to me rather than farther away. I know exactly what will strengthen your faith, what will deepen your character, and what will prepare you for the purpose I have designed for your life. Because I love you completely, I never answer carelessly. Every response I give is filled with wisdom that sees beyond today into every tomorrow still waiting for you. So whenever doubt begins to whisper that your prayers have been forgotten, silence that voice with the truth of my faithfulness. Remember every time I carried you through what you thought would destroy you. Remember every unexpected provision, every quiet miracle, every door I opened at just the right moment, and every burden I lifted when you placed it into my hands. Those memories are reminders that I have always been listening. Lift your heart with renewed confidence, my beloved child. Keep praying with expectation. Keep trusting with patience. Keep believing with unwavering hope. Your prayers are not floating aimlessly through empty skies. They are resting safely in my loving hands. At the appointed time, every answer that belongs within my perfect plan will arrive exactly when it should. And when that moment comes, you will understand that I was listening from the very beginning, working faithfully behind the scenes, preparing an answer that was greater, wiser, and more beautiful than anything you could have imagined for yourself. My beloved child, I know there have been many times when you wished I would reveal the entire path before asking you to take the first step. You have wanted certainty before movement, complete understanding before obedience, and clear answers before trust. That desire is natural because your heart longs for security. But I want to teach you something that will bring lasting peace. I rarely reveal your entire journey all at once because I desire that you walk with me, not merely toward my blessings. If I showed you every detail of your future today, you might become so focused on the destination that you would miss the beauty of my presence along the way. I have always been a faithful guide. From the first breath you took until this very moment, my hand has never stopped leading you. There were seasons when you recognized my direction clearly, and there were seasons when you struggled to understand where I was taking you. Yet even when you could not trace my path, you were never outside my care. Every step has been known to me. Every turn hath been seen by my eyes long before you arrived there. Think about walking through a dark valley with a small lantern in your hand. The lantern does not illuminate the entire road stretching miles into the distance. It simply provides enough light for the next few steps. As you continue walking, more of the path becomes visible. If you refuse to move until the whole journey was illuminated, you would remain standing in the same place. My beloved child, my guidance often works like that lantern. I give you enough light for today's obedience, and when you faithfully take those steps, I reveal what you need for tomorrow. There have been moments when you asked me for detailed plans, while I gently invited you to trust my character instead. Plans can change, but my faithfulness never does. Circumstances may shift without warning, but my love remains constant. When you place your confidence in my unchanging nature rather than in predictable outcomes, you discover a peace that cannot be shaken by unexpected events. I know that uncertainty has sometimes made you uncomfortable. You wondered if you were making the right decision. You questioned whether you had heard my voice correctly. You feared making mistakes that might somehow remove you from my purpose. My beloved child, listen carefully. I am more committed to leading you than you are to finding the right path. I am not waiting for you to achieve perfect understanding before I help you. As you sincerely seek me, I lovingly guide your steps. Even when you make mistakes, my grace is able to redirect your journey without abandoning the purpose I have prepared for you. Do not place so much pressure upon yourself that you become afraid to move at all. Fear of making the wrong decision can become just as limiting as making no decision. I have given you wisdom, my spirit, and my presence. Walk forward with humility and trust, knowing that I am able to gently correct your course whenever necessary. A shepherd does not stand far away shouting impossible instructions to the sheep. He walks with them, leading them one step at a time. In the same way, I remain close beside you throughout every season. My beloved child, sometimes the smallest acts of obedience lead to the greatest blessings. A kind word spoken at the right moment. A decision to forgive instead of holding on to resentment. A willingness to serve quietly when no one is watching. A simple prayer offered with sincere faith. These moments may seem ordinary, yet they often become the turning points that shape an entire future. Never underestimate what I can accomplish through your faithful obedience in seemingly small things. Imagine a river flowing toward the sea. It does not reach its destination by leaping over every mile at once. It continues moving faithfully around rocks, through valleys, and across open plains. Along the way, it nourishes fields, provides life to countless creatures, and shapes the landscape through steady persistence. Your journey with me is much the same. Do not become discouraged because you have not yet reached every destination. Celebrate the grace I am giving you for today's portion of the journey. Every faithful step is carrying you closer to the purpose I have prepared. As I lead you, there will also be moments when I ask you to pause. Waiting is not the same as being abandoned. A pause often protects you from moving too soon or in the wrong direction. Learn to see these moments not as interruptions but as invitations to rest in my wisdom. The one who knows the future has never made a mistake in his timing. If I ask you to wait, it is because I can already see what lies ahead, and my love is preparing the best possible moment for you to continue. So keep your eyes on me, my beloved child, rather than becoming consumed by every uncertainty around you. Do not allow confusion to drown out my gentle voice. Spend time with me each day, and your heart will grow more familiar with the peace that accompanies my guidance. You do not need extraordinary signs to know that I am leading you. Often my direction comes through quiet assurance, growing wisdom, open doors, and the steady confidence that develops as you remain close to me. Walk forward without fear. Take the next faithful step I place before you. Trust that I already stand in every tomorrow you have yet to experience. The path may not always be fully visible, but the one leading you has never been lost. I will continue guiding you with perfect love, perfect wisdom, and perfect faithfulness until the day you look back and realize that every single step, even the uncertain ones, was carrying you exactly where I intended you to be. My beloved child, there is a battle taking place that your natural eyes cannot fully see. While you have been focusing on what stands before you, I have been working in ways that extend far beyond your understanding. You have looked at the challenges surrounding you and wondered if they would ever come to an end. You have questioned whether the obstacles were becoming stronger or whether your strength was becoming weaker. But I want you to hear my voice today with unwavering confidence. The battle is already turning. What appears unchanged on the surface is already shifting beneath the weight of my perfect authority. Do not measure victory only by what your eyes can presently observe. The visible world often reveals the results long after the unseen work has already begun. A sunrise starts before the first golden light touches the horizon. The tide begins to change before the waves reveal its movement. In the same way, I have already begun changing circumstances that seem immovable to you. My hands are at work where your eyes cannot yet reach, and my purpose is advancing even in moments that appear completely ordinary. My beloved child, I know there have been days when discouragement whispered that nothing would ever change. It tried to convince you that you had prayed too long, waited too long, and hoped too long. It pointed to every delay as evidence that your breakthrough would never come. But discouragement has always relied upon appearances, while my promises rest upon truth. My truth does not change simply because the journey has been longer than you expected. My word remains faithful even when your circumstances seem slow to reflect it. There are victories I have already secured for you that have not yet become visible. I have been softening hearts that once seemed closed. I have been arranging conversations that will open unexpected opportunities. I have been placing people in your path whose encouragement will arrive exactly when you need it. I have been preparing solutions before you fully recognize the problems they would solve. Because I stand outside of time, I am never surprised by what surprises you. Before a challenge ever reached your life, I had already prepared the grace that would carry you through it. Think about a master chess player carefully studying the board. An inexperienced observer may believe the game is nearly lost because they focus only on the current position of the pieces. But the master already sees several moves ahead. What appears to be a setback is actually preparing the path toward victory. My beloved child, I see every move long before it unfolds. I know how each circumstance connects to the next. Trust the wisdom of the one who sees the entire board when you can only see the piece directly in front of you. The enemy would like you to believe that every delay means defeat, every hardship means abandonment, and every unanswered question means failure. But those are not my thoughts toward you. I have never confused delay with defeat. Many of my greatest works have unfolded gradually so that when they were complete, there would be no doubt that my hand alone had accomplished them. I am not hurried by human timelines, nor am I intimidated by impossible situations. What seems overwhelming to you remains completely under my authority. My beloved child, I have also been fighting battles within your heart. There were fears that quietly controlled your decisions. There were doubts that attempted to weaken your confidence. There were old wounds that tried to convince you that hope was dangerous. Yet little by little, I have been replacing fear with peace, doubt with trust, and despair with expectation. Some of the greatest victories happening in your life are not taking place around you but within you. A heart that learns to trust me in every season becomes stronger than any circumstance it will ever face. Do not underestimate the power of quiet faithfulness. Every time you chose to pray instead of panic, the battle turned. Every time you forgave instead of seeking revenge, the battle turned. Every time you worshipped me while still waiting for the answer, the battle turned. Every time you trusted my promises more than your fears, you stepped into a victory that the world could not yet see. These moments have not been small in my eyes. They have been powerful acts of faith that continue to shape your future. Remember how the ocean waves continue moving toward the shore even when the tide seems slow. Your steady persistence eventually reshapes the coastline itself. In the same way, your consistent trust in me has been accomplishing more than you realize. You may not always notice the daily changes, but over time they become undeniable. Arts change. Circumstances shift. Opportunities appear. Peace grows stronger. What once seemed impossible gradually becomes reality because my faithfulness never stops working. So refuse to surrender to hopelessness, my beloved child. Do not let temporary appearances become permanent conclusions. Keep standing upon my promises even when the evidence has not yet fully arrived. Lift your eyes beyond today's battle and remember that I have never lost control of your life for even a single moment. I am the one who goes before you, walks beside you, and remains behind you as your protector. The battle is already turning because I am moving in ways you cannot yet see. Soon, what has been unfolding quietly will become visible, and you will look back with gratitude, realizing that the victory began long before you recognized it. Trust me a little longer. Remain faithful a little longer. The dawn you have been waiting for is closer than you know, and my triumph in your life will reveal itself at exactly the right time. My beloved child, one of the quiet ways I demonstrate my love for you is through the people I bring into your life. From the beginning, I never intended for you to walk every part of your journey alone. I created you to experience encouragement, wisdom, kindness, and faithful companionship. Yet I also know that some of your deepest wounds came through relationships. You trusted, and your trust was broken. You loved, and your love was not returned in the way you hoped. You opened your heart, only to discover that not everyone could carry the gift you placed in their hands. Because of those experiences, you have sometimes wondered whether it is safer to keep everyone at a distance. I understand those fears, my beloved child. I was with you when your heart was disappointed. I saw the tears you hid from others. I heard the questions you asked when you could not understand why someone you cared about chose a different path. I know how difficult it has been to believe that healthy, life-giving relationships still exist. But do not let yesterday's pain convince you to close the door on tomorrow's blessings. The actions of a few people do not define what I am still able to bring into your life. Just as I remove relationships that no longer serve my purpose for your journey, I also prepare new ones that will strengthen your faith and encourage your heart. There are people I have been shaping even now, just as I have been shaping you. Their lives have followed different roads, faced different challenges, and learned different lessons. Yet I am weaving those paths together according to my perfect wisdom. When the time is right, our plans will meet in ways that neither of you could have arranged on your own. Think about the roots of trees growing deep beneath a forest. Though they stand apart above the ground, many roots quietly intertwine beneath the surface, sharing strength and nourishment. During storms, those hidden connections help the trees remain standing. In the same way, I create relationships that are built on deeper foundations than convenience or circumstance. I desire connections rooted in truth, humility, love, and a shared desire to walk closely with me. My beloved child, not everyone who enters your life is meant to remain forever, and that is not always something to mourn. Some people arrive to teach a lesson, Others come to offer encouragement during a particular season. Some help reveal gifts within you that you did not know existed. Others expose wounds that still need healing. Even difficult relationships can become tools in my hands, shaping your character and drawing you closer to my heart. While I never delight in your pain, I am able to bring purpose from every experience you place into my hands. Do not become discouraged if your circle feels smaller than it once did. Quality is far more valuable than quantity. One faithful friend who speaks truth with love is a greater blessing than many voices that lead you away from peace. I am not measuring your life by the number of people around you. I am preparing relationships that will help you grow into the person I created you to be. I also ask you to become the kind of person you are praying to find. If you desire kindness, practice kindness. If you desire honesty, live honestly. If you desire encouragement, become someone who lifts others with gentle words. As I continue transforming your heart, you will naturally recognize those who reflect the values I have been building within you. Healthy relationships begin with hearts that are willing to love without selfishness and serve without seeking recognition. My beloved child, there are conversations already waiting in your future that will change the direction of your life. There are people who will speak hope into moments when you feel weary. There are mentors who will share wisdom gained through their own journeys. There are companions who will remind you of my promises when your own strength begins to fade. There are those who will celebrate your victories without envy and stand beside you during your struggles without judgment. These relationships are not accidents. They are gifts prepared by my loving hands. At the same time, I will also give you discernment. Not every invitation deserves your acceptance. Not every voice deserves your trust. I have placed my spirit within you to help you recognize what brings peace and what quietly steals it. Listen carefully when I nudge your heart. Sometimes I will lead you toward someone who becomes a lifelong blessing. Other times I will gently warn you to step away from influences that could distract you from my purpose. Trust those quiet moments of wisdom, for they are part of my loving guidance. Imagine a traveler crossing a long mountain trail. Some parts of the journey must be walked alone to develop strength and endurance. But there are also stretches where trusted companions make the path lighter, offering encouragement when the climb becomes steep. I know exactly when you need solitude with me and when you need the support of others. My timing in both is perfect. So do not close your heart because of past disappointments, my beloved child. Leave room for the beautiful connections I am preparing. Continue treating others with grace while protecting the peace I have placed within you. Walk forward without bitterness, without suspicion, and without fear. I am bringing the right people into your life at the right time. They will not replace my presence, but they will become reminders of my goodness. Together, you will encourage one another, strengthen one another, and reflect my love in ways that will reach far beyond anything you could accomplish alone. Trust me, for I know exactly who belongs beside you as we continue this journey together. My beloved child, I know there are burdens you have carried for so long that they have begun to feel like part of who you are. You have become so accustomed to holding the weight that you sometimes forget what it feels like to walk in freedom. There are worries that have followed you from one season into another. There are disappointments you continue to replay in your mind. There are responsibilities you have taken upon yourself that I never asked you to carry. Today, I am inviting you into something beautiful. I am asking you to let go of what was never meant to remain in your hands. You were created to walk with me, not to struggle beneath the crushing weight of every unanswered question. Yet so often, you have tried to carry tomorrow before tomorrow arrived. You have exhausted yourself imagining every possible outcome, trying to solve problems that have not even appeared. My beloved child, anxiety promises control, but it only steals peace. The future has never been safer in your hands than it is in mine. I already stand in every tomorrow that concerns you. There is nothing waiting ahead that I have not already seen, and there is no challenge beyond my ability to guide you through. Think of a traveler climbing a mountain with a backpack filled with unnecessary stones. At first, the weight seems manageable, but as the path becomes steeper, every step requires more strength. The traveler begins to believe the mountain itself is impossible, when in reality it is the unnecessary burden that has made the journey so difficult. My beloved child, many of the things weighing down your heart are stones you were never asked to carry. Old regrets, imagined fears, the opinions of others, and the pressure to have every answer have all added weight to your soul. Lay them down before me. Some of those burdens have names. They are called guilt, comparison, resentment, disappointment, and fear. Others are quieter. They hide behind the desire to please everyone or the belief that your worth depends upon your achievements. They whisper that if you work harder, worry more, or carry every responsibility alone, you will finally find peace. But peace cannot be earned through exhaustion. Peace is found in trusting me. It is received when you stop striving to control everything and begin resting in my faithful love. My beloved child, surrender is not giving up. Surrender is giving over. It is placing into my hands what you cannot successfully manage on your own. When you surrender, you are not admitting defeat. You are acknowledging that my wisdom is greater than your understanding. You are declaring that my strength is more than enough where yours reaches its limit. There is freedom in that kind of trust because it allows you to stop fighting battles I never assigned to you. There are people you have tried to change through your own efforts. You have carried the weight of their choices, believing that if you just found the right words or worked a little harder, everything would improve. My beloved child, love them faithfully, pray for them sincerely, but release the burden of trying to control what only I can transform. You are responsible for your obedience, not for another person's response. Let me work in hearts where your hands cannot reach. There are dreams you have held so tightly that fear of losing them has begun to steal the joy of pursuing them. Place those dreams into my hands as well. Anything truly meant for you will never be made stronger by your anxious grip. Trust does not weaken my promises. Trust honors them. When you release your dreams to me, you make room for me to shape them according to my perfect wisdom. Sometimes I will fulfill them just as you hoped. Other times I will replace them with something even more beautiful than you imagined. Imagine a river flowing freely toward the sea. It does not stop to collect every fallen branch or every stone it passes. If it tried to carry everything along its path, its movement would become blocked. It remains clear because it lets go of what does not belong within it. In the same way, I am calling you to keep moving forward without collecting every offense, every disappointment, or every fear along the way. Let my grace wash those things from your heart so that your spirit remains free to receive the life I am continually pouring into you. My beloved child, forgiveness is one of the greatest ways you release unnecessary weight. Forgiveness does not declare that the hurt was acceptable. It simply refuses to allow that hurt to continue controlling your future. When you forgive, you are not placing justice aside. You are placing justice into my hands, where it has always belonged. In doing so, you free your own heart to heal. So breathe deeply in my presence today. Open your hands before me. Imagine every burden you have been carrying resting gently in my care. Feel the weight lifting from your shoulders as you remember that you were never meant to carry your life alone. I have always walked beside you, and I always will. My shoulders are strong enough for every burden that has weakened yours. My peace is greater than every fear that has troubled your thoughts. Walk forward with lighter steps, my beloved child. Leave behind what no longer belongs in this new season. You do not need to carry yesterday's pain into tomorrow's promise. You do not need to hold tightly to worries about a future I have already prepared. Trust me enough to release every unnecessary burden. As your hands become empty of fear, they will also become ready to receive the blessings I have been preparing for you all along. My beloved child, after you have laid your burdens into my hands, I do not leave you empty. I fill you with new strength. I have never asked you to release your worries without promising to replace them with something greater. When you let go of fear, I pour in peace. When you release discouragement, I breathe fresh hope into your spirit. When you surrender your weakness, my strength begins to rise within you. This is my way. I do not simply remove. I restore. I do not merely empty. I fill. I know there have been seasons when you felt completely drained. You woke up tired even after resting. Your body continued moving, but your heart felt weary. There were responsibilities waiting for you every morning and concerns following you every night. You smiled when others looked your way, yet deep inside you wondered how much longer you could keep going. My beloved child, I saw every hidden moment of exhaustion. I never expected you to carry endless weight through your own strength. That is why I have always invited you to come close to me, because in my presence, weary hearts find renewal. The world often teaches that strength comes from pushing harder, working longer, and never admitting weakness. But my kingdom works differently. True strength begins with dependence upon me. The strongest heart is not the one that never struggled. It is the one that continually returns to me for fresh grace. Every time you admit your need for me, you are not becoming weaker. You are opening the door for my power to work more freely within your life. Think about an eagle soaring high above the mountains. It does not spend all its energy frantically flapping its wings every moment. Instead, it stretches its wings and allows the rising currents of wind to lift it higher. It understands how to rest while still moving forward. My beloved child, I want to teach you to live like that eagle. Stop believing that every step of your journey depends entirely upon your own effort. Learn to rest in my strength. Allow my spirit to carry you where your own abilities would never be enough. There have been battles you survived that you never imagined you could endure. Looking back now, you may wonder how you found the strength to continue. The answer is simple. I was sustaining you every single day. On the mornings when your courage felt small, I gave you enough for that day. On the evenings when your heart felt overwhelmed, I wrapped you in my peace. You may have thought you were barely holding on, but it was my hand that never stopped holding you. My beloved child, do not confuse temporary weariness with permanent defeat. Even the strongest runner grows tired during a long race. Rest does not mean failure. Pausing to receive fresh strength does not mean you have abandoned your purpose. There are seasons when I intentionally invite you to slow down so that your soul can breathe again. The world may reward constant activity, but I value hearts that know how to remain close to me. Some of the deepest restoration I accomplish happens not while you are striving, but while you are quietly resting in my presence. Imagine a field after the harvest hath been gathered. For a season, the land appears empty. Yet beneath the surface, it is recovering its strength. The soil is preparing itself to produce even greater fruit in the season to come. If the field were never allowed to rest, its future harvest would become weaker. In the same way, I know when your heart needs renewal. I know when your spirit needs stillness more than activity. Trust my timing. even in seasons that appear quiet, because I am restoring your strength for what lies ahead. I also want to strengthen your mind. Many of your greatest battles have not taken place around you but within your thoughts. Fear has tried to magnify problems before they even arrived. Doubt has questioned promises I already declared over your life. Worry has exhausted you by asking you to solve tomorrow before tomorrow came. My beloved child, fill your mind with my truth instead of fear's imagination. The more you meditate upon my faithfulness, the less room anxiety will have to grow. My peace becomes stronger wherever my truth is welcomed. There is a quiet confidence I am building within you. It is different from pride because it does not depend upon your own accomplishments. It comes from knowing that I am with you. It allows you to face uncertainty without panic because you trust the one who holds the future. It enables you to walk through challenges without losing hope because you know my promises remain unchanged. This confidence is becoming part of who you are, little by little, as you continue walking beside me. My beloved child, I am preparing you for blessings that require greater strength than yesterday demanded. Not because the blessings themselves are burdens, but because greater purpose calls for deeper endurance, greater wisdom, and a steadier heart. I would never place you into a season for which I have not already prepared you. Every lesson, every trial, every moment of surrender had been adding strength to your spirit. So when you begin to feel weak again, do not become discouraged. Come to me immediately. Do not wait until exhaustion overwhelms you. Let my presence become your daily source of renewal. Drink deeply from the peace I freely offer. Receive the joy that rises beyond circumstances. Allow my love to restore every weary place within you. You are not walking into the future by your own strength alone. You are walking with the strength I freely provide, and it will be more than enough for every step I have prepared. As you continue trusting me, you will discover that the strength I place within you is not temporary. It is a steady river flowing from my heart into yours, carrying you faithfully toward every promise that awaits you. My beloved child, there was a time when your future seemed hidden behind a thick fog. You wanted clear direction, but every path appeared uncertain. You asked me questions that seemed to echo without immediate answers. You wonder why your purpose felt so difficult to recognize while others appeared to move forward with confidence. You compared your journey with theirs and questioned whether you were falling behind. But I want you to quiet your heart and listen carefully. Your purpose has never been lost. It has never wandered away from you. It hath been unfolding one faithful step at a time, exactly as I intended. Many people believe purpose arrives in a single dramatic moment, as though heaven suddenly opens and every answer appears at once. But that is rarely how I work. More often, I reveal purpose through daily faithfulness. It grows quietly as you continue walking with me. It becomes clearer through obedience rather than through endless searching. The person who faithfully follows my voice in small matters gradually discovers the larger picture I have been painting all along. Think about the sunrise once again. Before the sun appears above the horizon, the sky slowly begins to brighten. At first, the change is almost impossible to notice. Then little by little, colors begin to spread across the heavens until the entire landscape is illuminated. Purpose unfolds in much the same way. It often begins with small moments of clarity, quiet convictions, gentle opportunities, and simple acts of obedience. As you continue trusting me, what once seemed uncertain becomes beautifully clear. My beloved child, stop believing that your purpose depends upon achieving something impressive in the eyes of the world. My purpose for your life begins with becoming the person I created you to be. Before I ask you to influence many people, I teach you to love one person well. Before I entrust you with greater responsibilities, I shape your character through the responsibilities already in your hands. Greatness in my kingdom is measured by faithfulness, not by recognition. There have been moments when you overlooked the value of ordinary days because you were waiting for extraordinary ones. Yet many of my greatest works have always begun in ordinary places. A kind word spoken to someone who needed encouragement. A quiet prayer offered for another soul. An act of generosity that no one else noticed. A decision to remain honest when dishonesty would have been easier. These moments may seem small, but they are threads that I weave into the beautiful tapestry of your purpose. Do not become discouraged because your journey looks different from someone else's. I never intended for your life to be a copy of another person's story. Just as every flower in a garden blooms according to its own season and carries its own beauty, so I have given you gifts, experiences, and opportunities that are uniquely yours. Comparison blinds you to the beauty of what I have placed within you. Gratitude opens your eyes to it. My beloved child, I have been preparing your purpose through every season you have walked. The valleys taught you compassion. The waiting taught you patience. The storm strengthened your faith. The disappointments gave you wisdom. The joys reminded you of my goodness. Nothing has been random. Every chapter has been shaping you into someone who can carry the assignment I have prepared with humility and grace. Imagine a skilled builder constructing a magnificent home. Before the walls rise, much time is spent laying the foundation. Those watching from a distance may wonder why so little seems to be happening. But the builder understands that the strength of the entire structure depends upon what is built beneath the surface. My beloved child, your foundation has been growing stronger every day. The hidden work of your character has been preparing you for visible opportunities that are drawing closer. There are gifts within you that you have not fully recognized yet because they are waiting for the right season to flourish. There are abilities I have quietly developed through experiences you once questioned. Even your pain has become part of your preparation. The comfort you will one day offer others will carry greater power because it comes from a heart that truly understands suffering. The wisdom you will share will carry greater credibility because it was learned through real life rather than easy theory. Do not wait for perfect confidence before stepping into what I place before you. Confidence often grows after obedience, not before it. Many of the people who fulfilled my purposes throughout history began with uncertainty, questions, and feelings of inadequacy. Yet as they trusted me one step at a time, I revealed more than they could have imagined. I will do the same for you. I do not require that you understand everything before you begin. I simply ask that you trust the one who already understands everything. My beloved child, stop asking whether your life has significance. It does. Every day you choose love over hatred, hope over despair, truth over compromise, and faith over fear. Your purpose is already being lived. Every time you reflect my character in a world that desperately needs my light, you fulfill part of the calling I have placed upon you. The larger opportunities will come in my perfect timing, but never overlook the sacred value of today's obedience. Walk forward with confidence, knowing that your purpose is becoming clearer with every step we take together. You do not have to force it, chase it anxiously, or compare it with anyone else's journey. I have already written it into the story of your life. Continue seeking me above everything else, and I will continue revealing exactly what you need to know, exactly when you need to know it. The future before you is filled with meaning, and every faithful step you take today is bringing you closer to the beautiful purpose I have lovingly prepared since before you were born. My beloved child, as the path before you becomes clearer, there is something I must lovingly remind you. Not every voice deserves your attention. Not every opportunity deserves your energy. Not every distraction deserves a place in your heart. The closer you come to the purpose I've prepared, the more important it becomes to guard your focus. Many people do not miss their calling because they lack ability. They miss it because they slowly allow their attention to drift toward things that never belonged in their journey. I do not want that to happen to you. The world around you is constantly asking for your attention. Every day there are countless voices telling you what should matter, what success should look like, what you should fear, and who you should try to become. If you attempt to listen to them all, your heart will become exhausted. You were never created to follow every voice. You were created to recognize mine. The more time you spend in my presence, the more easily you will distinguish my gentle direction from the noise that surrounds you. My beloved child, distraction rarely announces itself as danger. More often, it appears harmless. It comes disguised as endless comparison, unnecessary worry, constant busyness, or the desire to gain approval from people who cannot determine your worth. Little by little, these things steal your peace without you even realizing it. They consume your thoughts, drain your energy, and pull your eyes away from the beautiful work I am doing right in front of you. Think about a runner preparing for a long race. The runner understands that every unnecessary weight slows progress. Heavy clothing, extra baggage, or constant stops to look at what others are doing only make the journey harder. The runner succeeds not by watching every competitor but by keeping steady focus on the path ahead. My beloved child, your race is not against another person. You are not competing for my love, my attention, or my promises. What I have prepared for someone else cannot take away what I have lovingly prepared for you. Therefore, stop measuring your progress by another person's journey. Comparison has quietly stolen joy from many hearts. You have looked at the lives of others and wondered why their blessings seemed to arrive sooner than yours. You questioned whether you had somehow been overlooked. But you only see the pages of their story that are visible to you. I alone see the complete story of every life. You do not know the battles they have fought in secret, the lessons they have learned through hardship, or the timing I have chosen for them. In the same way, they cannot fully understand the unique work I am accomplishing in you. Trust the path I have designed specifically for your life. I also want to warn you about the distraction of endless worry. Worry often disguises itself as responsibility. It tells you that if you think about a problem long enough, you will somehow solve it. Yet worry cannot add peace to your heart. It cannot change tomorrow before tomorrow arrives. It simply steals the strength I intended you to use for today's responsibilities. My beloved child, when anxious thoughts begin to multiply, bring them to me immediately. Replace fearful imagination with confident trust. I am already present in the future you fear, and my grace will always meet you there before your need does. There will also be moments when success itself tries to distract you. As I begin opening new doors, remember that every blessing is meant to draw you closer to me, not farther away. Do not become so busy enjoying my gifts that you forget the giver. Stay rooted in humility. Continue seeking my presence more than recognition. Continue choosing obedience over applause. The world celebrates those who become important in the eyes of others. I delight in hearts that remain faithful regardless of who is watching. Imagine a ship crossing the ocean on a clear night. The captain cannot afford to steer by every wave or every passing light on the horizon. The ship reaches its destination because it remains fixed upon the proper course. If it constantly changes direction to follow every distraction, it will never arrive where it was intended to go. My beloved child, let my truth become the compass that guides your decisions. Do not change direction every time circumstances shift or opinions change. Anchor yourself in my promises, and your course will remain steady. Guard your heart carefully as well. Be mindful of what you allow to shape your thoughts. The words you repeatedly hear, the things you continually watch, and the conversations you frequently entertain all leave their mark upon your spirit. Fill your heart with what strengthens faith rather than what feeds fear. Surround yourself with voices that encourage truth, wisdom, and hope. Make room each day for quiet moments with me, where the noise of the world fades and my peace can once again settle deeply within your soul. My beloved child, the days ahead hold wonderful opportunities, but they also require clear vision. Keep your eyes fixed on me. Do not allow temporary distractions to rob you of eternal purpose. Do not trade lasting peace for passing approval. Do not exchange my gentle guidance for the endless noise of the world. Every step you take with me is leading you exactly where you need to be. So walk forward with a focused heart and a peaceful mind. Let go of every distraction that weakens your joy or clouds your vision. Trust that I know what deserves your attention and what should simply be released into my hands. As you keep your eyes upon me, you will discover that the path becomes clearer, your heart becomes lighter, and your purpose becomes stronger. Stay close to me, my beloved child, and nothing that truly belongs in your future will ever be lost along the way. My beloved child, there comes a moment in every journey when trust must grow deeper than understanding. It is one thing to trust me when the road is smooth, when your prayers are answered quickly, and when every door seems to open with ease. It is another thing entirely to trust me when you cannot see the next step, when circumstances seem uncertain, and when my timing stretches beyond your expectations. It is in those moments that your faith becomes more than words. It becomes the quiet confidence that rests in my heart even when your eyes cannot yet see what I am preparing. I have never asked you to understand everything before trusting me. If you could explain every part of my plan, there would be little need for faith. But faith is not blindness. Faith is seeing my character more clearly than you see your circumstances. It is remembering who I am when life tempts you to focus only on what is happening around you. I have been faithful in every season of your life, even in the seasons you did not recognize my hand. The same God who carried you yesterday is carrying you today and will continue carrying you tomorrow. My beloved child, I know there have been times when your own understanding seemed more convincing than my promises. Logic told you that the situation could never improve. Experience whispered that disappointment would come again. Fear reminded you of every past struggle and urged you to expect the worst. But I want you to remember that what appears impossible through human understanding has never been impossible for me. I am not limited by the circumstances that limit you. I am not restricted by the barriers you can see. My wisdom reaches beyond every obstacle because I see the end from the beginning. Think of a child walking through a crowded place while holding a loving parent's hand. The child may not understand where the journey is leading. They may not recognize every street or understand every decision the parent makes. Yet because they trust the one holding their hand, they continue walking without fear. Their confidence does not come from knowing the route. It comes from knowing the one leading them. My beloved child, this is how I desire you to walk with me. Let your peace come from my presence rather than from complete understanding. There are questions I have not yet answered because the answer would make sense only after the next season begins. There are lessons you could not have learned without first walking through uncertainty. There are blessings that required you to release control before you could fully receive them. I have never withheld understanding to confuse you. I have simply revealed what your heart needed at the right moment. As your trust deepens, you will discover that you no longer need every answer immediately because you have learned to rest in my faithfulness. I have been gently teaching you to surrender control, not because control itself is evil, but because it was never yours to carry. You have spent many nights trying to solve problems that belonged in my hands. You have searched for certainty in places where only trust could bring peace. My beloved child, release the burden of trying to manage every outcome. Your future does not depend upon your ability to predict every circumstance. It depends upon my unwavering love, and that love has never failed you. Imagine a river flowing toward the sea. It does not resist every bend in its path. It does not panic when rocks appear before it. Instead, it continues moving, confident that the course before it will eventually lead to its destination. Sometimes it flows gently through peaceful valleys. Sometimes it rushes through narrow places with great force. Yet in every season, it continues forward. In the same way, I am inviting you to keep moving with me. Do not become discouraged by unexpected turns. They are often leading you around dangers you cannot yet see, or toward blessings you have not yet imagined. My beloved child, trust also means believing that my delays are not denials. There have been times when you thought I was saying no, while I was actually preparing a greater yes. There were opportunities you mourned because they disappeared, yet they would have distracted you from something far more meaningful. Looking back, you have already seen examples of this truth in your own life. What once felt like disappointment later revealed itself as protection. What once seemed like failure became preparation. My wisdom has always been working for your good, even when you could not immediately recognize it. As your trust grows, fear begins to lose its power. Anxiety no longer controls every decision because you know I am guiding your steps. Doubt no longer speaks with the same authority because you remember my faithfulness. Worry no longer occupies every corner of your mind because your heart has learned that I am already present in every tomorrow. This transformation does not happen all at once. It grows little by little as you continue choosing to believe my promises above your fears. So today, my beloved child, place your hand in mine once again. Do not demand that I reveal the entire road before you take the next step. Walk with me. Listen for my voice. Rest in my peace. Trust that even when the path curves in unexpected directions, my love remains constant and my purpose remains unchanged. I will never lead you into a place where my grace cannot sustain you. I will never allow you to face tomorrow without already providing the strength you need for it. Continue walking in faith, even when understanding has not fully arrived. Continue believing, even when circumstances appear unchanged. Continue hoping, even when the answer seems delayed. For every step you take in trust is another step deeper into the beautiful future I have been preparing for you since before the foundations of the world. My beloved child, you are safe in my hands, and those hands will never let you go. My beloved child, there are moments when you look at your life and wonder if all your efforts have truly made a difference. You have prayed faithfully, trusted patiently, forgiven repeatedly, and continued walking with me through seasons that tested every part of your heart. Yet sometimes you still ask yourself, has anything really changed? I want you to know today that much more has been happening than you have been able to see. Your faith has not been standing still. It has been growing. Your obedience has not been forgotten. It has been producing fruit. The seeds you planted in tears are beginning to prepare a harvest that will arrive in my perfect time. The world often measures success by immediate results, visible achievements, and public recognition. But my kingdom follows a different pattern. I delight in the quiet faithfulness that continues even when applause is absent. I see every unseen act of love. I remember every silent prayer. I treasure every moment you chose integrity when compromise seemed easier. These moments may appear small to others, but they are precious to me because they reveal a heart that continues to trust me regardless of circumstances. Think of a vineyard growing through the changing seasons. During certain months, the branches appear bare and lifeless. Someone unfamiliar with the process might believe nothing valuable is happening. Yet beneath the surface, life continues to flow. The roots draw nourishment from the soil. The branches are quietly preparing for the season when fruit will appear. My beloved child, there have been seasons in your life that seemed unproductive, but they were never empty. I was strengthening your roots so that the fruit I bring forth would remain strong and lasting. Do not become discouraged because your growth has been gradual. The strongest trees do not reach great heights overnight. Year after year, they continue growing steadily, weathering storms, surviving droughts, and reaching deeper into the earth. Because of that patient growth, they become places of shelter for others. In the same way, I have been developing a faith within you that is not dependent upon changing emotions or favorable circumstances. I have been cultivating stability, endurance, and quiet confidence that will bless not only your own life, but also the lives of many people around you. My beloved child, one of the greatest fruits I have been producing within you is love. Not the kind of love that depends upon being treated well, but the kind that reflects my own heart. You have learned to show kindness when it would have been easier to become bitter. You have chosen forgiveness even when the winds were deep. You have continued praying for others when your own heart still needed healing. These choices have not been overlooked. They are beautiful fruit growing from the work my Spirit has been doing within you. I have also been producing patience within your heart. There was a time when delays easily frustrated you, but now you are learning to rest in my timing with greater peace. You still hope. You still pray. Yet you no longer believe that every unanswered question means I have abandoned you. That quiet trust is evidence of spiritual maturity. It is fruit that cannot be purchased, imitated, or rushed. It grows only through walking faithfully with me over time. Imagine an orchard filled with fruit trees. The branches that carry the sweetest fruit are often the ones that bow lowest because of the weight they carry. In the same way, true spiritual growth produces humility rather than pride. As I bless you, I want your heart to remain gentle. As opportunities increase, I want gratitude to increase as well. The blessings I bring into your life are never meant to make you believe you no longer need me. They are meant to remind you even more deeply that every good gift comes from my loving hand. My beloved child, there are people already watching your life without you realizing it. They notice how you respond to disappointment. They observe the peace you carry during difficult seasons. They hear the hope in your words when others speak only fear. You may not think your quiet faith matters, but it is bearing fruit far beyond what you can presently see. Sometimes the greatest testimony is not delivered from a sage. It is lived through ordinary faithfulness in everyday moments. Do not compare your harvest to someone else's. Every field grows according to its own season. Some seeds sprout quickly, while others take longer because they are preparing deeper roots. What matters is not how your journey appears beside another person's. What matters is that you remain rooted in me. As long as you stay close to me, your life will continue producing exactly the fruit I intended. There will come a day when you look back and recognize how every season contributed to the abundance now surrounding you. You will see how the tears watered the soil. You will understand how the waiting strengthened your faith. You will recognize that the storms drove your roots deeper into my love. Nothing will have been wasted. Every challenge will have become part of the beautiful harvest I was preparing from the very beginning. So continue walking faithfully, my beloved child. Do not grow weary in doing what is good. Do not allow temporary discouragement to steal your confidence. Keep choosing kindness. Keep speaking truth. Keep trusting my promises. Keep planting seeds of hope wherever you go. The fruit is already growing, even if it is not yet fully visible. I am the gardener who faithfully watches over every seed planted in faith, and I assure you that the harvest I have prepared will arrive at exactly the right time. When it does, you will rejoice not only because of the blessings you receive, but because you will finally see that every act of faith, every quiet prayer, and every step of obedience has produced a harvest far greater than you ever imagined. My beloved child, as the harvest begins to grow within your life, I want you to understand an important truth. The blessings I pour into your hands are not meant to end with you. Every gift I give carries a purpose beyond your own comfort. Every lesson I teach you is meant to become wisdom you can share. Every comfort I have given you during your hardest days is something you will one day offer to another weary heart. I have never called you merely to receive my love. I have called you to reflect it. There was a time when you believed your greatest need was for your own life to become easier. But as you have walked with me, I have been gently expanding your heart. I have shown you that real joy is not found only in receiving blessings. It is also found in becoming a blessing. There is a deep satisfaction that fills the soul when you allow my kindness to flow through your words, your actions, your generosity, and your compassion. That is because you were created in my image, and my nature has always been to give life, hope, and love. Think about a candle burning in a dark room. It does not lose its light by lighting another candle. Instead, the room becomes brighter. In the same way, when you encourage someone who feels discouraged, your own hope is not diminished. When you forgive someone who has hurt you, my peace grows stronger within your own heart. When you give with generosity, your spirit does not become poorer. It becomes richer because it is reflecting my character. My beloved child, do not underestimate the influence of small acts of obedience. A gentle word spoken at the right moment can lift a burden someone has carried for years. A quiet prayer offered in faith can strengthen a person who feels alone. A simple act of kindness can remind someone that they have not been forgotten. You may never fully know the impact your faithfulness has on another person's life, but I see every seed of love you plant, and I cause it to grow in ways you cannot imagine. There are people crossing your path who are silently asking the same questions you once asked. They wonder if hope is still possible. They question whether their pain has any purpose. They long to know if they are truly loved. I have allowed you to walk through your own valleys so that when you meet them, your words will carry compassion instead of judgment. You will not speak as someone who knows only theories. You will speak as someone who has experienced my faithfulness firsthand. Remember how I carried you when your strength was gone. Remember how I comforted you when tears were your constant companion. Remember how I remained faithful when every answer seemed delayed. Those memories are not meant to remain hidden. They are testimonies of my goodness. When you share what I have done in your life, you become a living reminder that I am still working miracles in hearts today. Imagine a river flowing from a mountain spring. It does not drink its own water. It continues flowing, bringing life to fields, forests, and villages along its path. Flowers bloom because of its presence. Trees grow strong because their roots reach its waters. Countless lives are refreshed because the river keeps moving. My beloved child, I desire for your life to become like that river. Stay connected to me, the endless source of living water, and my love will naturally flow through you into the lives of others. Do not believe the lie that you have nothing valuable to offer. The enemy would like you to think your past disqualifies you or your weaknesses make you unusable. But I have always delighted in working through willing hearts rather than perfect people. Your compassion has been shaped by your own wounds. Your patience has grown through waiting. Your wisdom has been formed through experience. Even the chapters of your life that once caused you shame have become places where my grace shines most brightly. My beloved child, never forget that people are often searching less for perfect answers and more for genuine hope. They are drawn to hearts that reflect kindness, humility, and peace. As you continue walking closely with me, those qualities will become more visible in your life. Others will notice a quiet strength they cannot explain. They will see joy that circumstances cannot steal. They will recognize peace that remains steady even during storms. That light is not your own. It is my presence shining through you. There will be opportunities ahead that may seem ordinary at first. A conversation with a stranger, a phone call to a friend, a moment when someone asks how you remain hopeful. Do not overlook these moments. Often, the greatest assignments I give begin with the simplest acts of obedience. Listen carefully to my voice, and I will guide you toward those who need the encouragement I have placed inside your heart. As you bless others, do not fear that you will somehow have less. My love cannot be exhausted. My mercy cannot run dry. My provision is not limited. The more you remain connected to me, the more you will discover that I always provide enough for you to keep giving. You are not called to pour from an empty vessel. You are called to remain close to me, where your heart is continually refreshed and renewed. So walk into each new day with open hands and an open heart, my beloved child. Look for opportunities to reflect my goodness wherever you go. Speak words that bring life. Extend grace where others expect judgment. Offer hope where fear has taken root. Let your life become a testimony of my unfailing love. As you faithfully shine the light I have placed within you, you will discover that the something big I have been preparing is not only the work I am doing for you, but also the beautiful work I am doing through you, touching lives in ways that will echo far beyond anything you can presently see. My beloved child, after all that I have been teaching you, I want you to remember one truth that will keep your heart steady no matter what season you enter. Do not become so focused on the destination that you forget to walk closely with me today. Many people spend their lives waiting for the next blessing, the next opportunity, or the next chapter, believing that joy will finally arrive when they reach a certain place. But I desire to teach you something far more beautiful. My presence is not waiting for you at the finish line. My presence is with you every step of the journey. There were times when you believed that if one problem disappeared, you would finally have peace. Then that problem passed, and another challenge appeared. You thought that if one prayer were answered, your heart would finally rest. Yet even after receiving that blessing, new questions began to arise. This is because lasting peace has never been found in perfect circumstances. It has always been found in walking with me. Circumstances will continue to change, but I remain the same yesterday, today, and forever. When your heart is anchored in me, you carry peace into every season instead of waiting for circumstances to create it. My beloved child, I smile when I see you looking ahead with hope, because I have wonderful things prepared for your future. But I also delight in the quiet moments we share today. I am present in your ordinary mornings, your simple conversations, your moments of laughter, and even in the quiet evenings when you think nothing important is happening. Never believe that only the dramatic moments matter to me. I am the God who treasures every step you take with me, no matter how ordinary it may seem. Think about two close friends walking together along a peaceful path. Their greatest joy is not simply reaching the destination. Their joy comes from sharing the journey together. They talk, they laugh, they encourage one another, and the relationship grows stronger with every step. In the same way, I am inviting you into daily fellowship with me. I do not want to be someone you seek only when life becomes difficult. I desire to be the one you walk beside in every moment, whether life feels exciting or quiet. There will be days when everything seems to fall into place. Celebrate those days with gratitude. There will also be days when plans change unexpectedly, when disappointments arrive without warning, or when answers seem delayed once again. On those days, do not assume I have stepped away from you. My presence is just as real in the valley as it is on the mountaintop. In fact, many of the deepest moments of intimacy we have shared have come during seasons when you had nowhere else to turn except toward me. My beloved child, learn to notice my fingerprints in the little things. See my kindness in the sunrise that greets you each morning. Hear my gentle reminder in the psalm that lifts your spirit at just the right time. Recognize my care in the unexpected encouragement that reaches you when you need it most. Understand that I often speak through quiet moments rather than dramatic displays. Those who rush through life rarely notice how faithfully I have been walking beside them all along. Imagine a gardener who visits the garden every single day. He does not only appear when the flowers bloom. He waters the soil, removes the weeds, protects the young plants, and patiently watches over every stage of growth. My beloved child, this is how I care for your life. I am not interested only in your moments of success. I am present during your growth, your waiting, your healing, and your preparation. Every day matters to me because every day shapes the beautiful person I am creating you to become. Do not rush through this season because you are eager for the next one. There are treasures hidden in today that you may never find again. There are lessons that belong to this chapter alone. There are opportunities to trust me, to love others, and to experience my peace in ways that are unique to this moment. If you constantly look beyond today, you may overlook the gifts I have already placed in your hands. My beloved child, I know that you are eager to see the something big I have promised. Your heart longs to witness the doors opening, the prayers being answered, and the dreams becoming reality. Those moments are drawing nearer than you realize. But before they fully arrive, I want your greatest joy to be found in me rather than in the blessings themselves. Blessings will always be wonderful, but they are never meant to replace the relationship we share. When you treasure my presence above everything else, every blessing becomes even sweeter because you receive it with a grateful heart. As you continue walking with me, you will discover that every season carries its own beauty. The waiting teaches trust. The growing develops character. The harvest reveals my faithfulness. The new beginning reminds you that I am always making all things new. There is purpose in every chapter because I am present in every chapter. So slow your heart and walk beside me, my beloved child. Do not race ahead with anxious thoughts or remain trapped by yesterday's memories. Stay with me in this present moment, where my peace is waiting for you. Hold my hand with confidence, knowing that every step we take together is leading you toward the future I have lovingly prepared. You do not have to hurry, and you do not have to fear falling behind. As long as you remain close to me, you are exactly where you need to be, and together we are moving faithfully toward the beautiful fulfillment of every promise I have spoken over your life. My beloved child, I know there are still moments when the memory of yesterday tries to speak louder than the promise of tomorrow. Old disappointments sometimes whisper that nothing will ever truly change. Past failures attempt to convince you that you will repeat the same mistakes. Wounds you thought had healed occasionally begin to ache again, making you wonder if you are really as free as you hoped. But I want you to hear my voice above every other voice today. You are not walking backward. You are moving forward with me, and I am not leading you into your past. I am leading you into the future I have lovingly prepared for you. The enemy often tries to chain people to memories that I have already redeemed. He reminds them of every wrong turn, every painful loss, and every moment of weakness. He hopes they will become so focused on what hath been that they lose sight of what can still be. But I have not called you to live in constant remembrance of your brokenness. I have called you to remember my faithfulness. Every time you recall how I carried you through impossible seasons, your courage grows stronger. Every time you remember my mercy, hope rises again. My beloved child, there is a difference between learning from your past and living inside it. I want you to learn the lessons it has taught, but I do not want you to build your home there. A traveler who spends too much time looking behind will eventually stumble over the path ahead. Lift your eyes. The road before you holds opportunities your yesterday could never have given you. Do not allow old chapters to prevent you from embracing the new story I am writing. Think about a tree in the spring after a long winter. Throughout the cold season, its branches may have appeared lifeless. Leaves had fallen, and everything looked empty. Yet when the right season arrived, fresh buds began to appear where barrenness once seemed permanent. The tree does not try to glue old leaves back onto its branches. It receives new life. My beloved child, I am not asking you to recreate what has already passed. I am bringing fresh growth into your life. Trust the new work I am doing instead of clinging to what is already behind you. There are relationships that ended because they had completed their purpose. There were opportunities that disappeared because they were not meant to carry you into your future. There were dreams that changed because I was preparing something greater than you could see at the time. I know letting go was painful. I know you question why certain doors closed despite your sincere prayers. But now I ask you to trust that every closed chapter has made room for a new beginning that is closer than you realize. My beloved child, do not fear starting again. Sometimes beginning again is not a sign that you failed. It is evidence that I am giving you another opportunity to grow, to love, to believe, and to experience my goodness in deeper ways. I delight in new beginnings because I am the God who brings life where people expect only endings. My grace is always greater than your regrets, and my plans are always stronger than your mistakes. Imagine an artist creating a beautiful painting. If one section does not appear as expected, the artist does not throw away the entire canvas. With wisdom and patience, new colors are added, new details emerge, and what once seemed imperfect becomes part of a masterpiece. My beloved child, your life is in my hands. I am the artist who sees the finished picture even while you see only the unfinished strokes. Trust me with the parts you do not yet understand. I know exactly how to weave every experience into something beautiful. Do not allow fear of failure to keep you from stepping into the new opportunities I place before you. Fear will always invent reasons to stay where life feels familiar. But faith gives you the courage to move when I call. You do not have to know every detail before taking the next step. You only need to know that I am walking beside you. Wherever I lead you, my presence will already be there waiting to strengthen you. My beloved child, forgive yourself for the moments when you believed you were not enough. Release the heavy expectations you have placed upon your own shoulders. You were never asked to earn my love through perfection. You have always been invited to receive it through trust. My love for you has never depended on flawless performance. It has remained steady through every victory and every struggle. That unchanging love is the foundation upon which your future is being built. I want your heart to become increasingly expectant. Wake each morning believing that I am still working. Face each new day believing that my promises remain alive. Refuse to let yesterday's disappointments define today's possibilities. The future is not empty. It is filled with my presence, my guidance, my provision, and my peace. Even now, I am arranging circumstances, preparing hearts, opening doors, and aligning moments that will reveal my goodness in ways you cannot yet imagine. So leave the weight of yesterday in my hands, my beloved child. Walk into this new day with confidence instead of regret, with hope instead of fear, and with expectation instead of doubt. The story of your life is still unfolding, and some of its most beautiful pages have not yet been written. Keep your eyes upon me, keep your heart open to my leading, and continue moving forward. The something big I promised is no longer a distant possibility. With every faithful step you take, you are drawing closer to the wonderful fulfillment of all that I have been preparing for you from the very beginning. My beloved child, as you continue walking toward the future I have prepared for you, I want you to understand that the greatest victories are not always the ones the world celebrates. Many people think victory only means receiving the promotion, seeing the miracle, reaching the destination, or watching every prayer unfold exactly as they imagine. Those moments are beautiful gifts, but there is another kind of victory that is even more precious to me. It is the victory of a heart that continues to trust me when circumstances have not yet changed. It is the victory of choosing hope when fear still whispers. It is the victory of standing firm in faith because you know I am faithful. There was a time when disappointment would have quickly stolen your peace. A single setback could convince you that everything was falling apart. But look at how far I have brought you. Today, when challenges arise, you may still feel the weight of them, but you do not remain there as long as you once did. You have learned to bring your concerns into my presence. You have learned to seek my peace before seeking your own solutions. This quiet transformation is evidence that I have been working deeply within your heart. My beloved child, never underestimate the strength that has been formed inside you. Strength is not the absence of emotion. It is not pretending that difficulties do not exist. True strength is choosing to keep walking with me even while carrying unanswered questions. It is believing my promises when visible evidence has not yet appeared. It is refusing to surrender your hope simply because the journey has taken longer than you expected. Think of a lighthouse standing on a rocky shore during a violent storm. The waves crash against it again and again. Fierce winds surround it. Dark clouds cover the sky. Yet the lighthouse does not abandon its purpose because of the storm. It continues shining steadily, guiding those who are searching for safety. My beloved child, I have been shaping your life to become like that lighthouse. The storms you have endured were never meant to extinguish your light. They have only proven that the light I placed within you cannot be overcome by darkness. There will still be moments when unexpected trials appear. Do not be surprised by them. Every journey contains seasons of challenge. But remember this truth: the challenges ahead are not greater than my power. The obstacles before you are not stronger than my promises. Whatever comes, I will already be there before you arrive. I will never send you into a battle without also providing the grace, wisdom, and strength you need to overcome it. My beloved child, when fear tries to return, remind your heart of everything we have already walked through together. Remember the prayers I answered when you thought all hope was gone. Remember the doors I opened after others had closed. Remember the peace I gave you in the middle of sleepless nights. Remember the comfort I placed around you when grief felt too heavy to bear. Your history with me is filled with reminders of my faithfulness. Let those memories become the foundation of your confidence for tomorrow. Imagine a skilled shepherd leading his flock through a narrow mountain pass. The sheep cannot always see what lies around the next corner, but the shepherd can. He knows where fresh water waits. He knows where danger hides. He knows the safest path through every difficult place. The sheep remain secure not because they understand the landscape, but because they stay close to the shepherd. My beloved child, remain close to me. You do not need to know every detail of the road ahead when you are walking beside the one who designed the path itself. Do not allow temporary delays to convince you that my promises have changed. I have not forgotten a single word I have spoken over your life. Every promise remains alive. Some are already unfolding in ways you have not yet recognized. Others are waiting for the exact moment when they will bring the greatest blessing. My timing has always been perfect, even when it has required patience from your heart. I also want you to protect your joy. The world will always offer reasons to become discouraged. News may change. Circumstances may shift. People may disappoint you. But your joy does not have to rise and fall with every situation around you. Let your joy be rooted in my unchanging love. When your happiness depends only on favorable circumstances, it will always feel fragile. But when your joy is anchored in my presence, it becomes a steady source of strength that no storm can steal. My beloved child, I smile when I see the faith that has begun to grow within you. Even on days when you feel uncertain, you continue coming to me. Even when answers are delayed, you continue believing. Even when the road becomes difficult, you continue taking one faithful step after another. That is not weakness. That is the beautiful evidence of a heart that has learned to trust its Father. The day is coming when you will look back over this entire season with grateful eyes. You will see that every delay had a purpose. Every lesson shaped your character. Every tear watered the soil of your future. Every act of obedience brought you closer to the fulfillment of my promises. You will realize that I was never absent for a single moment. I was guiding, protecting, strengthening, and preparing you through it all. So continue moving forward with confidence, my beloved child. Lift your head high, not because you rely on your own strength, but because you know the one who walks beside you. Refuse to surrender to fear. Refuse to allow doubt to become louder than my voice. Stand firmly upon my promises, and let your heart remain filled with expectation. Something big is still coming, and with every passing day, you are stepping closer to the beautiful future that I have lovingly prepared just for you. My beloved child, as you stand on the edge of a new season, I want you to lift your eyes higher than the circumstances around you. So much of your journey has been about learning to trust me one step at a time, and now I want you to begin living with joyful expectation instead of quiet hesitation. Expectation is not wishful thinking. It is the confident posture of a heart that knows its Father always keeps his promises. You are no longer the person you were when this journey began. I have been changing you from the inside out, preparing your heart to receive what I have already been preparing for you. There were days when you expected disappointment before you expected blessing. You braced yourself for bad news because past experiences had taught you to protect your heart. You lowered your expectations, believing it would hurt less if nothing good happened. But that was never my desire for you. I did not create you to live with constant dread. I created you to live with hope. Hope does not ignore reality. It simply believes that my power is greater than any reality you face. My beloved child, I want you to wake each morning with a new question in your heart. Instead of asking, "What will go wrong today?" begin asking, "How will my Father reveal His goodness today?" This small change in perspective will transform the way you walk through each moment. You will begin noticing blessings that fear once blinded you to see. You will recognize opportunities where you once expected obstacles. You will discover my fingerprints in places that once seemed ordinary. Think about a farmer who has faithfully planted seeds throughout the season. After the planting is finished, he does not return to the field every morning expecting empty soil forever. He rises with anticipation because he knows that growth is already taking place beneath the surface. He cannot see every root developing, but he trusts the process. My beloved child, you have planted seeds of faith, obedience, forgiveness, patience, and perseverance. Do not stand over the field of your life expecting nothing. Begin looking forward with confidence, because the harvest is already drawing near. There is a difference between waiting and expecting. Someone who merely waits may become discouraged as time passes, but someone who expects remains filled with quiet excitement because they believe something good is approaching. I want your heart to become like that. Even while you continue fulfilling today's responsibilities, carry the peaceful confidence that I am arranging tomorrow with perfect wisdom. Every unseen detail is being placed exactly where it belongs. Every conversation, every opportunity, every open door is being aligned according to my loving purpose. My beloved child, be careful not to let impatience steal the joy of anticipation. A child who constantly asks whether it is time yet may miss the beauty of the journey toward the celebration. In the same way, do not become so focused on asking when that you forget who is leading you. I know the perfect moment for every promise to bloom. I know when your heart is ready. I know when the people around you are ready. My timing is not simply about your blessing. It is about creating the greatest good for everyone touched by your story. I also want you to release the fear that your opportunity might somehow pass you by. What I have prepared for you cannot be stolen by another person. It cannot be delayed by human opinion beyond what I allow. It cannot disappear because of one mistake that has already been covered by my grace. When I open a door, no fear can close it. When I establish a path, no obstacle can erase it. Rest in that assurance. Your future is secure because it rests in my hands, not in the uncertainty of the world. Imagine standing on a hill just before dawn. At first, everything appears wrapped in darkness. Then, almost without noticing, the horizon begins to glow. The light grows stronger minute by minute until the sun finally rises in all its brilliance. No one can stop that sunrise from coming at its appointed time. My beloved child, my promises are like that sunrise. There may still be shadows around you today, but the light is already on its way. The darkness is not permanent. The morning I have prepared is steadily approaching. As you move into this new season, keep your heart soft and teachable. Continue listening for my voice. Continue choosing gratitude even before you see every answer. Gratitude is the language of expectation. It declares that you trust me enough to give thanks before the miracle fully appears. When you thank me in advance, you remind your own heart that my faithfulness has never failed and never will. My beloved child, do not underestimate the power of simple faith. You do not need perfect understanding, extraordinary abilities, or flawless confidence. You only need a willing heart that continues saying yes to me. I delight in taking ordinary lives that are surrendered to me and accomplishing extraordinary things through them. That has always been my way, and it will continue to be my way with you. So step into each new day with your head lifted and your heart at peace. Refuse to let fear write the story of your future. Let my promises shape your expectations instead. Walk with confidence, speak with hope, and rest in the certainty that I am already working beyond what your eyes can presently see. The season you have prayed for is closer than you realize. The doors I have prepared are beginning to open. The prayers you whispered through tears have reached my heart, and my answers are moving toward you. Keep walking with me, my beloved child, because something big is no longer just a promise on the horizon. With every faithful step you take, it is becoming your living reality. My beloved child, now that your heart has learned to expect my goodness, I want you to understand one final preparation before the fulfillment of my promises becomes even more visible. Do not allow the blessing to become more important than the one who blesses you. Everything I have promised is meant to draw you closer to my heart, not distract you from it. The greatest gift I have ever offered you has never been a door opening, a burden lifting, or a dream coming true. The greatest gift I have given you is my constant presence. Long after every earthly success fades, my love will remain. Long after every season changes, I will still be walking beside you. There have been moments when you believed that if one certain prayer were answered, your heart would finally be complete. Yet as you have continued walking with me, you have begun to discover something deeper. Even before every answer arrives, my presence has already been giving you peace. Even before every promise is fulfilled, my love has already been healing your heart. This is because what your soul has always needed most is not simply a change in circumstances. It is a closer relationship with me. My beloved child, I have been teaching you to treasure the quiet moments we share together. Those moments when you pause to pray. Those moments when you choose gratitude instead of complaint. Those moments when you become still enough to hear my gentle voice reminding you that you are never alone. Never think those moments are small. They are strengthening your soul in ways that no earthly achievement ever could. Think about a branch growing from a healthy vine. The branch does not struggle to produce fruit by its own effort. It simply remains connected to the vine, and life flows naturally through it. The fruit appears because of the relationship, not because of anxious striving. My beloved child, this is how I desire you to live. Stay connected to me every day. Do not exhaust yourself trying to force blessings to happen. Remain close to me, and everything I have appointed for your life will arrive in its proper season. There will be times when people notice the peace in your life and ask how you remain steady while everything around you changes. They may expect you to point toward your accomplishments or your circumstances. Instead, let your life quietly point toward me. Let them see that your confidence comes from walking with your Heavenly Father. Let them discover that your hope is not built upon temporary success but upon my unchanging faithfulness. My beloved child, I also want you to remain humble as I begin unfolding greater blessings before you. Humility does not mean thinking less of yourself. It means remembering where every good gift comes from. Never believe that your own strength alone brought you this far. Every opportunity, every open door, every answered prayer, every restored relationship, and every moment of healing had been touched by my loving hand. Gratitude protects your heart from pride, and humility keeps you close to the source of every blessing. Imagine a musician holding a beautifully crafted instrument. The instrument produces beautiful music not because it glorifies itself, but because it remains in the hands of the one who knows how to play it. My beloved child, your life becomes most beautiful when it remains surrendered in my hands. I know how to bring harmony out of every chapter. I know how to transform painful memories into songs of hope. Continue trusting me with every part of your story. Do not become afraid of greater responsibility when I entrust it to you. Everything I ask you to carry will come with the grace to sustain you. I will never place you in a position where my strength cannot uphold you. As your influence grows, let your dependence upon me grow even more. The higher I lift you, the deeper your roots in my presence must become. Trees that stand tallest are those whose roots reach deepest into the ground. In the same way, the life that remains deeply rooted in my love cannot easily be shaken by success or by difficulty. My beloved child, continue protecting the quiet places of your heart. The world will always try to fill your days with noise, hurry, and endless distractions. But do not neglect the sacred moments we share together. Return to me every morning with expectation. Speak with me throughout your day. Rest in my presence each evening. Let our relationship become the steady rhythm that shapes everything else in your life. Remember that the something big I have spoken over you is not only an event that will happen. It is also the person you are becoming. You are becoming more compassionate because you have known my mercy. You are becoming more patient because you have trusted my timing. You are becoming more courageous because you have seen my faithfulness. You are becoming more loving because my love has transformed your heart. These are miracles that no one can take away from you. So continue walking with me, my beloved child. Hold my hand more tightly than you hold your plans. Treasure my voice more than the applause of the world. Seek my heart above every earthly reward. As you do, you will discover that every blessing I have promised will find its proper place, because it will rest upon the firm foundation of our relationship. The days ahead will reveal my goodness in ways that will fill your heart with wonder. But through every new beginning, every answered prayer, and every unexpected miracle, never forget this unchanging truth. I am your greatest treasure, and I will be with you always, leading you faithfully into the glorious future that has been prepared for you since before you took your very first breath. My beloved child, we have walked together through every chapter of this journey. I have reminded you of my love, strengthened your faith, lifted your eyes beyond fear, and prepared your heart for what is ahead. Now I want you to stand still for a moment and look back, not to remain in the past, but to recognize how faithfully I have carried you. The person you are today is not the same person who first began this journey. You have been changed by my presence. Even if the transformation has happened quietly, it has been real. Every lesson, every prayer, every tear, and every act of surrender has become part of the beautiful work I have been accomplishing within you. There was a time when uncertainty filled your heart more easily than peace. Questions seemed louder than my promises. You often searched for reassurance because you were afraid of what tomorrow might bring. Yet look at what I have done. I have not removed every challenge from your path, but I have given you something greater. I have taught you how to walk through uncertainty while holding tightly to my hand. I have shown you that peace is not the absence of difficulty. Peace is the confidence that I remain with you through every circumstance. My beloved child, never forget the valleys from which I lifted you. Do not remember them with sorrow, but with gratitude. Those valleys taught you compassion. They taught you patience. They taught you to depend upon me instead of your own understanding. Had everything always been easy, you would never have discovered how strong my grace truly is. What once felt like your greatest weakness has become a place where my strength shines most brightly. Think about a sculptor carefully shaping a piece of stone. At first, every strike of the tool may seem harsh and unnecessary. The stone cannot yet see the masterpiece hidden within it. But the sculptor never strikes without purpose. Every careful movement removes only what does not belong, revealing the beauty that has been there all along. My beloved child, there were moments when life felt like that. You did not understand why certain things had to change or why some seasons required such deep surrender. Yet I was never harming you. I was removing what could not remain so that the person I created you to be could emerge more clearly. Now I invite you to live with confidence instead of hesitation. Stop questioning whether you are ready for the future I have prepared. If I have brought you this far, I will certainly lead you through what comes next. I have not been preparing you without purpose. Every season has equipped you for the next one. Every lesson has added wisdom. Every trial has strengthened your faith. Every delay has increased your endurance. Nothing hath been wasted because I have woven every experience into the story I am writing through your life. My beloved child, do not allow fear to speak the final word over your future. Fear will always try to convince you that the unknown is dangerous. But I want you to remember that the unknown is never unknown to me. Before you take your next breath, I already know what tomorrow holds. Before you face your next decision, I have already prepared the wisdom you will need. Before the next opportunity arrives, I've already been arranging the details that will unfold in my perfect timing. Rest in that assurance. You are not walking toward uncertainty alone. You are walking into a future that has always been held securely in my hands. There will be moments ahead when you will need to remember everything I have spoken to your heart. When doubt tries to return, answer it with my promises. When discouragement whispers, remember my faithfulness. When the world urges you to hurry, continue trusting my timing. Do not let temporary emotions become greater than eternal truth. My word remains steady even when your feelings change. My love remains constant even when circumstances shift. Build your life upon what never changes, and your heart will remain unshaken. Imagine a traveler finally reaching the top of a mountain after a long climb. As they look back, they realize that every steep path, every difficult step, and every moment of perseverance has led to a breathtaking view that could never have been seen from below. My beloved child, one day you will look back over this season with the same understanding. You will see how I protected you from unseen dangers. You will recognize how I answered prayers in ways that were far better than you expected. You will understand why certain doors remained closed and why others opened at exactly the right time. What seems mysterious today will become a testimony of my wisdom tomorrow. So walk forward with courage. Walk forward with gratitude. Walk forward with unwavering expectation. Do not carry the weight of fear, regret, or uncertainty any longer. Those burdens do not belong to you. They belong in my hands. Your call is to trust me, love me, and faithfully take the next step I place before you. Everything else is already under my care. My beloved child, the season you have been praying for is no longer a distant hope. You are standing at its threshold. The seeds planted through faith are ready to bear fruit. The prayers whispered in secret are moving toward fulfillment. The healing you long for is continuing to deepen. The doors I have prepared are beginning to open. Keep your heart humble, your eyes fixed upon me, and your faith unwavering. Very soon, you will understand why I asked you to keep believing through every delay. Very soon, you will see that every promise I made was leading you to this moment where my goodness, my love, and my perfect plan come together in ways greater than you ever imagined. My beloved child, we have come to the end of this journey together, but this is not the end of the story I am writing in your life. It is only the beginning of a new season filled with hope, purpose, and the fulfillment of promises that I have been preparing long before you could see them. From the very first moment I whispered to your heart that something big was coming, I was inviting you to stop looking at your future through the eyes of fear and begin seeing it through the eyes of faith. Now I want you to carry that truth with you every single day. Never forget what I have taught you along this path. I have shown you that waiting is never wasted when you wait with me. I have shown you that closed doors can become divine protection, that hidden seasons can become holy preparation, and that every tear surrendered into my hands becomes part of a greater harvest. I have reminded you that your past does not define your future, that your failures cannot erase my calling, and that my love has never depended upon your perfection. Through every chapter, I have remained the same faithful Father, walking beside you with patience, compassion, and unwavering love. My beloved child, when you leave this moment and return to the ordinary rhythms of your life, remember that I will go with you. I will be with you when you wake each morning. I will guide your decisions when you seek my wisdom. I will strengthen you when you grow weary. I will comfort you when sorrow visits your heart. I will celebrate with you when joy fills your days. There is no place you can go where my presence cannot reach you, and there is no season you will ever face alone. The days ahead may still bring unexpected challenges, but do not allow them to shake your confidence. You now know that storms do not mean I have abandoned you. They are often the places where my faithfulness becomes most visible. When fear whispers, answer it with my promises. When doubt tries to return, remember every time I have already carried you. When uncertainty stands before you, hold my hand and keep walking. You do not need to know every detail because you already know the one who holds every detail. Think once more about the sunrise. It never asks permission from the darkness before it appears. It simply rises at the appointed time, filling the earth with light. In the same way, my promises will rise over your life in the perfect moment I have chosen. No delay can cancel them. No obstacle can overpower them. No force can stop what I have lovingly prepared for my beloved child. Continue living with expectation, humility, gratitude, and unwavering trust, because the future I have spoken over you is already unfolding one step at a time. I want your heart to remain soft. Continue forgiving quickly. Continue loving generously. Continue praying faithfully. Continue serving joyfully. Continue trusting me completely. Let your life become a reflection of my goodness so that others who are searching for hope will discover my love through the peace they see within you. The greatest miracle is not only the blessings I place into your hands, but the transformation I accomplish within your heart. My beloved child, whenever you begin to wonder again whether something big is truly coming, remember this moment. Remember my voice speaking peace over your fears. Remember my promises standing stronger than your doubts. Remember that I have never broken my word, and I never will. I am still opening doors you cannot yet see. I am still arranging meetings you have not yet imagined. I am still healing places within you that no one else knows about. I am still preparing blessings that will arrive at the perfect time. Walk forward with confidence. Lift your eyes with hope. Fill your heart with gratitude. Refuse to surrender to fear. The future belongs to me, and because you belong to me, you can face tomorrow without anxiety. My hand will continue leading you. My voice will continue guiding you, and my love will continue surrounding you until every promise I have spoken finds its beautiful fulfillment. Before we close, I want to speak to every heart that desires to help this message reach someone who is still waiting in darkness. If I have used these words to strengthen your faith, let your gratitude become a seed that brings hope to countless other souls. As my word declares, give, and it will be given to you, and let that promise live through your act of faith today. I am inviting you to become part of this harvest, allowing my light to travel farther than you could ever go alone. Through your YouTube Super Thanks, your membership, or your PayPal gift, you help these messages continue reaching weary hearts across the world. The PayPal donation link is waiting for you in the video description, and it is also available through the QR code shown in this video. Every seed planted with love becomes part of a harvest that only heaven can fully measure. I see every willing heart, and I bless every gift offered with faith, generosity, and joy. I will multiply what is placed into my hands and use it to bring comfort, healing, and hope to those who are crying out for me. Do not hesitate when I stir your heart to act, for obedience opens doors that fear can never unlock. Step forward in faith, sow your seed with joy, and become part of the work I am doing to shine my light into the lives of my children. Now receive my blessing, my beloved child. May your heart remain at peace, your faith remain unshaken, your hope remain alive, and your eyes remain fixed upon me. May you recognize my hand in every season, trust my timing in every delay, and rejoice in every blessing I bring into your life. Go forward with courage, for I am with you always. The best is not behind you. By my grace, it is still ahead of you. Amen.